Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Feeling good, and I hope you're feeling good, too. Welcome to your Wednesday, man. Welcome to the stream. Hey, does that mic sound a little bit hot? Does it seem like it's, like, loud to you guys? I feel like I keep asking this, but this shit is so weird. Like, some days it'll sound like not hot. Does it sound good? Are we okay? I just worry that maybe it's a little bit too hot. Opposite of loud? So it's quiet? The mic's too quiet? You need me to turn it up? Oh, hey, that's not a bad idea. You need a third option for the like button called always. Ooh, I like that. I like that, man. That's cool. What is up, everybody, and good morning. Top of the morning to you. If you are watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching on Twitter, thank you. Appreciate you. Welcome to the show. We've got a lot to go over. All right, well, that's my one mess up for the day. We're going to call it there. I'll see you guys Friday. Oh, because I messed up the words. All right, anyway, no, look, seriously, we have a lot to get over. God damn it, what is wrong with my brain? It's a big show, we got a lot to talk about, and I can't get the words come out of my mouth the right way. Son of a bitch! More coffee. This is just my second cup for the day. I will say this, I didn't sleep well last night. In fact, I barely slept. And I was really mad about it. I actually woke up in a pretty poor mood. I was like really grumpy. I was like, ugh. Oh, I didn't sleep well. Oh, everything's stupid. Ah! And then I remembered about the X-Men 97 finale. The way I remembered was I opened up Twitter and I saw a bunch of people talking about it. I was like, God damn! And so I like shut it all down, man. Did you guys have an experience like that? Like, how do you guys go about avoiding, like, spoilers when you wake up on Wednesday to watch it? Because there's a whole bunch of people in, like, the West Coast that'll stay up to watch it, and then there's some crazies on the East Coast that'll stay up to watch it. In fact, how many of you guys stayed up to watch it at either 3 a.m. or midnight or whatever? How many of y'all stayed up and watched it? I'm just curious. I pour hot oil into my eyes. Okay, that's an interesting solution there. The finale was great. Dude, I agree. I can't wait to get into it. I'm an East Coast crazy. Nice. I don't have social media. My only risk is you. Ooh. Okay, well, sorry. Fernie, what's up, buddy? I haven't caught up on the season. What? What episode are you on, Fernie? Also, it was so cool to see that you met up with Trinity at the Ren Fair, man. I saw the photos, man. That was really cool. It's good to see. You guys got to try to make it over to the East Coast, man. I'd love to chill with you guys. I'd eat a turkey leg, you know, and talk in old English, or at least try to. Watch it when you wake up, 5:30 a.m. for you. Damn. I didn't, but woke up early to watch it. That's cool, bro. I had some wild dreams last night. Oh, okay. Well, you know, if they're too wild, don't share them. It's all good. Trin is a Ren Fair regular. Yeah, he does like the Ren Fair. I think it's one of those things where if you go to the Ren Fair, you're probably going to get hooked on it, man. It seems super fun. It seems a little bit more like, it's like Dungeons and Dragons, but a little bit like LARPing, like real life. So it seems super fun. Nerd Executive, what's up, buddy? Says, I also haven't caught up. I'm on episode 5. What? Look, Fernie, Ryan, I'm not trying to be a dick, you know? We just got this stream started. It's a good day. We've got a lot of stuff to get into. But do you guys understand that you're the goddamn reason that the show isn't actually charting on Nielsen? You guys are the fucking reason. The people that are sitting back like, oh, no, I know it's amazing, but I just haven't got around to it yet. What the fuck? I gotta do a whole segment. I got notes of gushing about X-Men, and then I gotta talk about how it's not charting. That's on you. You know, you are the ones that are preventing me from having a full-on dub, going crazy and saying that it's the biggest W that they've ever had. I just want you to know that. I stopped with Bad Batch and haven't caught up yet, but I couldn't stop with the X-Men. My man, that's what I like to see. Mav, what's up, buddy? Thanks for the 5. Says, my favorite are the Trekkies all dressed up pretending they are on an away mission at the Ren Fair. Is that a thing? That's funny, man. That is funny. I have to do my best to stop this week. Wait, what the fuck? This week 2 garbage to stop. Wait, I don't know what you're talking about. I need my knighting. Dart Kick, welcome to the Nerd Vengers, man. You are a Nerd Venger now, baby. I appreciate it. Hey, look, I appreciate all the members on YouTube. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all the members on Twitch. We are currently driving. We're trying to get to 2,000 members total, and if we do, we're going to add another $200 GameStop gift card to the giveaways next month, and we'll add an additional permanent day to the streaming schedule. I actually have kind of a cool announcement about that later on in the stream, though. I'm going to wait until, the stream builds and we're in the middle of it. I actually have a really fun little announcement. It has to do with the guy that won the GameStop gift card, but I'll explain all of that later on. It's really cool. So we'll talk more about that later, but I appreciate all the members, man. Tito, for the 5 spot, says, theory, Rogue will cure Gambit from being Horseman of Death, and they will have a baby named Hope Summers. Wait, Rogue will cure Gambit, and then why would they have a... I mean, I get where your head's at with some of that. Maybe I'm missing something. Rogue will cure Gambit from being... and they will have a baby named Hope Summers. I mean, I think, obviously, Hope Summers... You see Hope Summers in the episode. Slight spoiler alert. We're going to go into the spoilers and everything. I want to talk about the show. Trust me, I want to talk about the actual contents of the show, and we're going to talk about like theories and crazy stuff. I want to watch Paul's breakdown. I assume it's out. I haven't seen, but I'm sure that it's out there. But I want to talk about the show overall and why it's such a boon. It's such a beacon of hope for Marvel Studios, and it happened at exactly the right time. So I have like a big old script / notes that I want to go over about the show overall, because it really has exceeded my expectation. I think it's doing some heavy lifting for Marvel, so we're going to talk about that as well. But we'll ease into it. I want to kind of catch up with everybody, see what's going on. Sir Louis Bricks, member for 13 months. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Says 13 months, baby. You will have my support always. Nerdventures 97, or Nerdventures 97. X-Men 97 was fire. Please don't talk about Star Wars. I gave up on that. Marvel still has hope. Nerdvengers for life. Okay, so let's stop for a second. I regret to inform you. First of all, I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. It really means the world. You guys are awesome, man. I think we're doing something special with the Nerdvengers, so I really appreciate it. However, I think we do have to talk a little bit about Star Wars today. And I was thinking, you guys tell me, maybe we can sort of group project this. I was thinking about a thumbnail with like Bob Iger kind of pushing Kathleen Kennedy to the side, and then maybe like the text over here that says a new low for Star Wars. What do you guys think of that? Like, do you think that would be like a good kind of packaging for the video? Because what I want to talk about is how, in my opinion, it is more obvious than ever that Iger does not really want to talk about Star Wars. And I think Star Wars has hit a new low just from what happened yesterday at the upfronts. And I kind of want to explain that because, like, we've sort of already been talking about it. I think it's already kind of obvious that that's what's happening. But, I mean, dude, yesterday was Bro, that's a new low. Like, they're sharing a stage with the Rookie. We know they have more stuff. They're not bringing anything. they share a fucking stage with the rookie, and then for the upfront, which is really about like advertisers and like I think every time Iger opens his mouth, it's really to talk to Wall Street, right? He's like Marvel, 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 Marvel. Like, it's just, I think it's beyond, like, I can't ignore it anymore. I feel like yesterday was like a huge sign that, like, bro. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that's a good thumbnail and a good title? You think that'll be a good segment? Can we go over that a little bit later? No? Yes? Too far? Too baity? We need a new hope. Yeah, a little bit, huh? A picture of Kevin pushing Star Wars into the trash. Ooh, I like that. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. I just saw Phantom Menace in the theater. I know some Star Wars lives on. Yeah, well, that's the thing. The Phantom Menace thing is so interesting, right? Because you got a 22-year-old movie making noise, doing pretty well out there. And that's in the midst of, like, every Acolyte trailer getting ratioed into oblivion. The conversation around Acolyte being absolutely terrible. I saw something today pop up where, like, Leslie Headland said she's a big fan of the Clone Wars, especially the episode called The Wrong Jedi. And she, like, pulled influence from that. I gotta tell you, where were statements like that a year ago? Because if she had just stuck to stuff like that and not said all the other shit that she has said, I think we'd be in a much better situation. But the reality is she didn't. She made the bed that they're now going to have to sleep in. And I just don't see that going well, you know? But it is ironic that while all of that is happening and while Star Wars feels like it's headed towards Star Trek level of brand recognition, and that's what it is. It's so ironic that the maligned prequel movie had a big W in the middle of that. You know, it's weird. It just is weird. Matthew, welcome back to the Nerd Vengers, baby. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, now she says that, right? Ooh, thoughts on the Hot D trailer? We're definitely going to get into that, man. I'm excited for Hot D. I felt like the trailer was great. What did you guys think? I saw some people yapping about this, that, second, and the third, but what did you guys think? Damn, I never heard that comparison, and now I'm sad. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Oh, the Star Trek comparison? Yeah, bro, that's the way it's going. Krieg and Stark, yeah, for sure. That's going to be fun. That's next month. And also another, also another brilliant move by Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy. Imagine wanting your new hit show to go head-to-head with House of the Dragon, and isn't The Boys dropping next month as well? Is that, like, am I wrong, or is that really what's happening? Okay. So I feel like you can almost chart Lucasfilm's moves by, like, what would be the worst possible thing to do? Like, is there some kind of super toxic thing happening right now where Kathy's trying to drive it into the ground purposely at this point, and, like, Bob is aware of that and trying not to prop them up at all? Like, what? Like, for real, what is happening over there? Like, what is going on over there, bro? Are you kidding me? House of the Dragon Season 2, The Boys Season 4. Why don't we go head-to-head with those ones as the Acolyte? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But anyway, like the homie was saying, we don't have to talk about that. I mean, we do have to talk about that, and we will. But we don't have to talk about it right now. Let's be happy. Let's be positive. Let's live in the glory that is this MCU comeback season. I truly believe it's comeback season. I was, I know some of you guys don't like AI. I play around with AI a good bit. And by the way, holy shit, OpenAI changing the fucking game. on Monday. That I'm gonna start playing around. Has anybody played around with Chat GPT 4.0? That stuff looks bananas. I'm telling you right now, 80 to 90% of the economy in the next 5 years will be AI talking to AI. And I know that's scary, and I know we're all worried about certain aspects of it, but it's going to make my life fucking dope. It's going to be very good for me. Because a lot of the stuff that I need, there's like a lot of like bandwidth heavy bullshit work that like I would need an executive assistant or an assistant to do. I'm literally going to be able to offboard all of that onto AI, which is going to be so good. It's going to be so nice. Regardless, I was messing around with AI this morning, trying to make a rap album that like had Kevin Feige looking like super gangster. And it was a little tricky, actually. It didn't work perfectly, but I think that's the direction they should go with it. I think Feige should embrace the comeback season. He should get even nicer suits, like the kind of suits that just like shine, like holy shit suits. I think he should get like all black hats. I think he should get a chain. Dude, I'm telling you, like, I think he needs to embrace it, and it needs to be comeback season, cold as fuck Kevin. That's what we need. We need cold as fuck Kevin. Maybe even some fucking big old sunglasses on, even when he's inside. Fuck it, bro. Like, I think he needs to just embrace it. It's comeback season. It's gangster time. And he just goes with it. That would be so cool. That would be cool, man. He should do it. He should literally get a stylist and be like, so the look I'm going for is gangster as fuck. It's comeback season. The kids are saying cold as ice, Kevin. And then let his stylist like figure it out for him. I think that'd be cool. Yes. How many of you guys, I'm just curious, how many of you agree that Marvel's comeback season is upon us? And it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Don't worry. We'll still talk about Agatha and Ironheart. We're going to have to talk about that a little bit. But I feel like comeback season is upon us, man. They fired Bo. Yeah, the Bo thing is tough, right? Because we don't know what happened. You know, like, look, I was saying earlier, especially after episode 5, I said, I was like, I don't give a fuck what he did. I mean, maybe that's a little bit too far. We really don't know, right? But I think that the real thing is, yo, he put incredible work in. If there's a way to keep him around, they should do it. Even if they have to like pay him on the low and get him to like ghostwrite, because I think he really brought something special to this. I mean, it's X-Men 97 is something really special, and I do think as much as it is a team effort, and it was a big collaboration. I think we all know Bo was a big part of that, right? I mean, it feels obvious that he was a huge part of what brought that all together and kind of set the tone for what would become X-Men 97. It is possible that other people will take up the mantle and be able to do just as good of a job, if not a better job. That's possible. But I think when you get somebody that shows the true talent, and when they sort of have the hot hand, you know, you give them the rock. And that's if we lived in a perfect world, we'd be able to sort of know what had happened, be able to judge for ourselves how bad is that, and give the man the rock, because holy shit, he's on fire, right? So we'll see. We shall see. Either way, man, I think Bo deserves a lot of credit and a lot of praise for this, because it's absolutely incredible. And I think, I hope that this is something that can help to build his profile and his legacy, and something that, you know, he can sort of always be attached to, because it's truly great. Sometimes in life, we only get one little shot at doing something really great. I mean, life can be brutal. It can be random. It can beat you down. Sometimes you only do that one thing. You only get that one chance. I'm not saying that's what it is for him. I hope it's not. But even if it is, even if like, because again, we really don't know what happened. Even if that is kind of his last song, so to speak, it is a magnum opus. It is fucking hard, man. It was hard as nails. His back is hurting from carrying the MCU back to life. Yeah, quite possibly, man. I mean, I got a whole thing I'm gonna go into. I really do think it's doing some heavy lifting for Marvel. I think it's a true triumph. So I'm absolutely loving it. Am I a Planet of the Apes fan? I mean, yes and no. I am, but I'm not like so in. Like, I have really no desire to see the new one. You know, the only thing that had me curious about the new one is the director Wes Ball, I think that's his name, is supposedly helming the new Zelda movie. And so I'm kind of interested in that. Unfortunately, some of the feedback that I saw about the movie just made me think like that's just very low priority, meaning it's a streaming movie and not a streaming movie you buy, a streaming movie you wait till it hits one of the platforms and then you watch, you know? Because the audience scores on that Ape movie are pretty bad comparatively. Like, it has very low audience scores. So, I don't know. It's a tough one. Did any of you guys see it? Did you like it? You only get one shot. Yeah. Opportunity. Oh, we're going crazy with the Eminem stuff, huh? Kingdom was solid. Good intro for now. Is that the new one, Kingdom? Kevin Hart better be Zelda? You mean Link, or are you saying like the princess? You want Kevin Hart to play the Princess Zelda? I mean, I'm not like necessarily judging super harshly, but that is that's a pick, huh? That is a pick. Saw it and enjoyed it. That's great. Eminem as Link. Eminem as Link. You know what? Fuck it, bro. Let's go. Bro, the Dune Prophecy series dropped its trailer. I shared it with you on Twitter. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. I want to watch the trailer. The problem is Warner Brothers will take all the money from the ads on this stream if I do. Like, it just sucks, man. Warner Brothers really sucks. Like, you know, especially for creators. They suck, man. As soon as I watch this, I'll just get copyright, blah, 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 and they'll just take it all. I mean, to be fair, we make a lot more money off of, like, you know, super chats and members and all that sort of stuff. But still, it just kind of irks me, dude. It just kind of irks me. Josh, do you think we were in a content bubble like comics were in the 90s? There's so much content and not enough time for everything. Ooh, that's kind of an interesting question. I will say the kind of vibe that I got from like yesterday and maybe just this week in general is that we are at an interesting time where I think the bar has been raised for content. And yeah, it really does seem like all of these studios are entering the arena, so to speak, and putting resources behind what could be really, really great content. And that's, I mean, that's kind of interesting. It'll be wild to see if there's enough audience to go around, I guess. I mean, do you guys think there's already like too much great content to watch? Because it, you know, I feel like there's a lot of great content. Some of it's just not for me. Like, so for instance, Last of Us. Never played the games. Don't care enough about zombies and fungus zombies to, like, want to watch it. So, like, I really don't care. Fallout. I played the game, so I was never, like, really into it. But Fallout just looked really cool to me. And I was like, dang, I want to see how they do this. I loved Fallout. Now you've got Fallout Season 2 coming. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. No, I just have 3 kids. June is going to be crazy with great content. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much, right? Because there's the new Dune show, which actually looks interesting. I didn't watch the full trailer. I will watch it. I'll watch it. But I want to watch it in the back half of the show. But yeah, I didn't watch it, but just from some of the things I saw, I was like, dang, looks like they spent money on this thing. Which is cool. And if they're putting the right money and the right resources behind this sort of stuff, like, it's crazy. The Boys is very successful. It had a successful spin-off show, which I think they're doing more of, right? They're doing more, what was it, Gen V, right? I believe. They're doing the Dune thing. They're doing, like, the Penguin, which, like, I'm really not interested in the Penguin thing. I think it'll probably get lost in the sauce. Gunn's cooking up some DC stuff. You got, like, Creature Commandos, which, again, I'm not really interested in. But, like, if they were to do, like, a Green Lantern show or something, I'd be interested in that. Yeah, it's wild. Is it from Dennis, too? That's a good question. I don't really know. I doubt he's heavily involved. Maybe he's producing. But I don't really know. They are doing a Green Lantern show. Yeah, that's the rumor, but they shut down the one that, like, Berlanti and them were working on. It kind of, like, it hasn't become news, but yeah, that show's gone. I mean, it might take a different form now under Gunn, but, like, I knew something was shady when Greg Berlanti's, like, doing some Netflix thing, and I'm like, what the fuck? Didn't he sign, like, a $300 million development deal with Warner Brothers? Like, what happened? But I think Gunn just pushed him out. I think Gunn's just like, nah, I need it to be me. When is the next Peacemaker season? I think they're shooting it right now. I'm pretty sure he directed an episode as they were doing Superman or something. Like, I saw something like that on social media, so. Yeah, you got War of Rohirrim, Peter Jackson returning for 100 Gold. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is like, it feels like we're in this crazy era of content where people, like, they're going for it. But it seems that maybe the perspective has changed, where studios maybe even 5 years ago would play a little bit more insulary, meaning they wouldn't want to maybe go back to Peter Jackson or bring on the video game guy for the Mario movie, right? Hollywood, at least in my view, has been a town of, like, we'll take it from here, for a long time. And it seems like that's changing. And it seems like maybe the collaboration is a bigger deal because it's become a marketable idea. So it just seems like, man, we're getting some crazy content. It's kind of like a golden age of content right now. And I also think, just going back to Marvel a little bit, as a Marvel fan, that's exciting because it means Marvel now has to raise the bar. Marvel has to go even bigger and crazier than before, because I think Marvel Cinematic Universe during the Infinity Saga was absolutely outdoing a lot of other studios. They had bigger ideas, just a better universe. It was like they just were way better than a lot of other people. And that's not necessarily the case anymore. People are coming to play. People are coming to play. I mean, Hot D, bro. Hot D is a massive success. Again, it's ridiculous that Acolyte would try to release in that month. And then you got The Boys. I don't know. It's just crazy. So we'll have the Marvel shrapnel in us for, like, the next year or two. What do you mean? Like the more lackluster stuff? Is that what you're saying? People hating on the Rings of Power trailer. I don't see why, based strictly on the trailer footage. Well, obviously, it's not based strictly on the trailer footage. It's the same thing with Halo Season 2. And, like, dude, God bless Rob, but, like, hell no, I'm not watching Halo Season 2. And it would not matter how cool the trailer was. Like, it just would not matter. It's ironically, though, I think Andor, we were talking about Andor a little bit, on the Discord, and a lot of people, of course, love to troll me about how much I hate Andor. But I think Season 2 of Andor could potentially do much better than Season 1. I think that the show will be way more Star Warsy. I think they're changing the show a lot. And Andor could be a show that, despite having a first season that really did not connect with a lot of people, like regardless of how you personally feel about it, the numbers were really bad for Andor. But I imagine season 2 could be much better. You know? Kind of interesting. That's kind of like an outlier, though. Most of the time, if you have a bad first season or a first season that really upsets a lot of fans, it does not matter what the trailer is for the season 2. It doesn't matter. That's why, like, I think the Halo show should have just canceled and rebooted. Same thing with Rings of Power. I mean, I just do not understand what's going on with Rings of Power. You know what I was randomly thinking about, too, with regards to... And Lou, thank you so much, man. I'll go over that in just a second. You know what I was thinking about randomly for Rings of Power? Do you guys remember... I think it was around the time where the show was... They were showing episodes to press, right? I remember Jeff Bezos said something about how he was initially fighting with the producers a lot. But he ended up, like, being convinced that they were correct. Do you guys remember that at all? Y'all remember that? I am fascinated by that. I want to know so badly, what was the fight? And was Bezos right? Now that, like, we've seen the show and seen how it performed in the first season, I gotta know, bro. I gotta know. Lou, thanks, man, for the 5, says, congrats on the new baby news. Being a dad is awesome. For the high tea energy you are looking for, I recommend Beekeeper with Jason Statham. It was awesome. Oh, hell yeah. I'll have to check that out. Anybody else watch The Beekeeper? I heard it was pretty good. And also, thank you, brother. We're excited for Baby 2. Elisa had a doctor's appointment yesterday. Baby 2, strong heartbeat, man. Strong heartbeat. Like, high. Which ironically, I think means a girl, probably. We think it's going to be a girl, but we'll see. Tevistan, sorry if I mispronounced your name. I'm sure I did. Says, what's up, Josh? And big congratulations on the new member joining the family. 4 months, nerd venging. Looking forward to those spicy diamond lounges. Yeah. Should we have a diamond lounge this week? Should we have a diamond lounge this Friday? Are you not watching The Last of Us because you don't want to fall in love with Zaddy Pascal? No, I like Pedro. It is just as simple as I never played the games. I don't really like zombie shit. I don't really like things that are scary. So, yeah, I have like zero desire to watch it. But, yeah. Beekeeper was pretty good. We should do it. No, I'm out of town for work and can't do it Friday. Well, I'm sorry, man. You can always watch it on the replay. We could have a little diamond lounge on Friday, get into some tea. That'd be kind of fun. Thoughts on Shogun Season 2? We'll see. I'm not crazy about the idea, frankly. But I'm glad that they're all getting paid big bucks, so that's cool. Yeah, I don't like horror. It's just not my thing. You know, I just don't like being in that vibe. I will say, man, one vibe that I'm absolutely loving is Legion. I've been rewatching the Legion show. Elisa's never watched it before, so we started watching Legion. Oh, man. I'm even more blown away than I was when I was watching it week to week. Because when that show was airing, I was watching it week to week. It was kind of before the channels popped off. I think I was doing YouTube, but like very, very small, right? But oh my God, I love Legion, dude. I love Legion. And I'm also a little bit blown away by the people that have been responding to me on Twitter that are like, I can't get into it, or like they thought it was boring and all that. Yeah, Mr. Robot's great too. I think Legion might not only be one of my favorite comic book shows, I think it might be one of my favorite shows ever of all time. You know, there's a really interesting... So in Phase 4 and in Phase 5, I felt like one of the big things that was missing from a lot of the dialogue between the characters was subtext. In the Infinity Saga, and this is actually mostly because of Robert Downey Jr., but Robert Downey Jr. was able to pull a lot of subtext out of all of the performers that he was around. And so there's this real nice, natural, interesting thing happening in a lot of the dialogue sequences and a lot of the character moments for the Infinity Saga. And in Phase 4, you lose subtext a little bit, and you get a lot of like exposition and stuff like that. And I would describe Legion as a dance of subtext. It is literally all just a massive dance of subtext, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It is a masterpiece, cinematically brilliant. When I'm all done with it, I think we're in the middle of Season 2 right now. When I'm all done with it, I'm probably going to put together another, like a big video kind of talking about why I think the show is such a masterpiece. It is literally one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So cool, bro. So cool. So, highly recommend that. Okay, well, let's do something here. I want to talk just briefly about the beef with the scoopers and the whole thing that happened like Monday, why I took the stream down, why I reached out to my time. I want to talk about that briefly. Then I want to get into X-Men 97 because it's starting to get hot in here again. By the way, chat, we do have a solution on the way. And shout out to everybody on the Discord that was hitting me up about the mini split. So I have a mini split on the way. And I'm probably going to like set it up somewhere up here. And that should solve all of the problems in here as far as the heat. The only issue is it's going to require some electrical work. It's a little bit more crazy to install it than I had originally thought. So that's a little unfortunate, but we are solving that problem, which is going to be great. Which is going to be great. What the hell is Legion? So Legion is a show that was done on FX. The showrunner was a guy named Noah Hawley, who is a brilliant creative mind. He also did a Fargo show. I think he did something else that I can't remember. And he was developing a Doctor Doom movie for Fox before Fox was purchased up by, Disney. And he actually did meet with Kevin Feige, which is interesting. I even heard some stuff about the possibility of that project still being developed. Howley is a creative genius. And the Legion show focuses on Professor X's son, David. And David is Legion in the comics. He has like split personalities. And each one of his personalities has like a different power in the comics. He's incredibly powerful. He's Omega for sure. They call him a world breaker in the show too, which I thought was kind of cool. But I had watched it when it was releasing on FX back in the day. And we've been rewatching it because I was like, you know what I kind of feel like? It's watching Legion again. And she was down, so we've been rereading it or rewatching it. Yeah, it's super good. Is Legion better than Daredevil? I think so, yes. Yes. I think Legion is better than any Marvel show. I think it's better than Loki. I damn sure think it's better than Moon Knight. And that's one of the things that was tough. We're watching it, and I was like, this is probably why I wasn't as taken by Moon Knight as a lot of other people. Because Legion is legitimately better. And it's like long episodes. You've got 8 episodes in season 1, 11 episodes in season 2, and then I think it goes back to 8 for season 3. It's better than any Marvel show I've ever seen. And it has a perfect ending, which is so rare. I don't know many shows or movies or books or any stories, just stories in general. It is very difficult to have a perfect ending. Legion has a perfect ending. Perfect. So it is absolutely incredible. It's on Hulu right now. Yeah, you can watch it on Hulu. So good. Yeah, I think it's better than all the Disney Plus shows. For sure. The only one that's close is maybe X-Men 97, real talk. I don't like stories. Okay. Okay, let's briefly go over the whole scooper thing. Yes, I saw somebody in chat saying it. Yes, I am J. Cole. You know, I'll accept it. I'll be the fucking softy in the situation. I just want to sit in the grass with my shoes and socks off, man. That's what it is, okay? OC Steve, welcome to the Nerd Vengers, baby. Feel the fucking power. Feel the power. So, you know, I assume a lot of you were here on Monday. I went pretty hard on the scoopers. I felt bad about it. It just wasn't sitting right with me. You know, it just wasn't sitting right with my spirit. I felt like while I do feel the way I feel and I think the things that I think, I don't necessarily have to make all of that the content. And I feel like I made a sort of misstep where I let it get a little too personal. A lot of you guys accuse me of being super personal with the James Gunn situation, which I think is fair. But I'm even more personal with the scooper situation because I feel like these scoopers tricked me into getting involved in the James Gunn situation, right? So I think I just got a little too emotional and it was a little bit too personal and I probably went a little bit too hard. Some of you guys don't agree. Some of you thought it was brilliant. Some of you guys actually like it when I go crazy and that's, you know, it is what it is. That's fine. And so then I'm like cooking up a video, right? I took the stream down. I felt bad. There was actually a member on Discord that kind of echoed some of my sentiment. They were like, I feel like you're going too hard about blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I do feel a little bit bad about it. Yeah, so I ended up taking it down. I was cooking up a video where I was trying to be a little more concise and a little bit more chill. And then in the middle of all of that, My Time to Shine tags me in a thing, says that I'm wrong about her hating Marvel. And to prove it, here's a list of all the projects she's looking forward to. Now, the ironic thing about that is, and a lot of that shit went over a lot of your heads, she's basically saying that I'm right. Because there are no projects she's looking forward to. That's the whole point of the tweet. Okay? But again, man, sometimes I say shit and I can say it and it probably sounds a little bit rude. But the average reading level of people on Twitter is probably like at a 5th grade level. That's just how you process information on Twitter, right? So, yeah, she hates Marvel. She is a hater. But also, like, I just felt like maybe I was putting and sending a little bit too much hate her way. I felt bad about it because here's the thing. I don't know if she is also Toast and Daniel and some weirdo fucking CIA level computer hacker person that's like really weirdly parasocial and just not a good person. I don't know that. She could literally just be some girl scooping, doing what a lot of other people are doing on the internet, right? So I felt a little bit bad that I was like putting all of that and sending that all to her. So I basically, after she tagged me in the post, I unblocked her and I reached out to her. We had a conversation in the DMs. And look, I do apologize for sending any unwarranted or extra hate her way. I think the truth is the internet is turning on scoopers a lot. And I think her and a lot of these other scoopers, they've just gone way too far and they're playing with fire. And a lot of people are just fucking over it. Like, if you look at the comments under her post, like, bro, people are not riding for this person anymore. The internet is turning on her. And I expressed that. I said, look, I'm sorry if I added to it. And I am sorry. But at the same time, like, you kind of deserve a little bit of this shit. Like, you guys are going crazy. So here's what she told me. And I don't know if she'll actually live up to this or not. But I said the main things that are bothering me are you're coming in and debunking things and you're ruining speculation. Meaning you put a little scoop out there and then like maybe I'll come up with a theory and then you quote tweet it and say, no, that's not the way that it is. Well, now you're not just scooping. You're hurting the conversation and you're hurting what is going on in fandom. She said she's going to stop doing that. She even told me she's going to try to be less spoilery. Okay? And I hope that's true because I do think they're all just going way too far, right? I said I apologize. I'm gonna try not to like send hate her way. She said she's gonna try to be chill and not debunk stuff and be less spoilery. So as far as I'm concerned, the beef is squashed. But a lot of what I said stands. Like, I think scoopers have gone too far. I think the shit's out of control, and I think it's a little bit because there's no accountability over there. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no accountability. So, for my own part, I'm going to try to be more selective with what I talk about as far as scoops and leaks. And I'm going to try to be more chill. I hope that they become more chill. And then maybe we can move things in a better direction as a fandom. Because, you know, the other thing is, like, I'm a horrible person to make this point. I keep saying that, but it's true. I've made a lot of money off scoops, period. That's what it is. Like, too much money. Disproportionate amount of money. So I'm the wrong person to be like, scoops are fucking wrong. And I get it. I get it. Okay? And I also can't fucking help myself. Certain scoops come out there and I'm like, oh my God, and I gotta know everything. So I get it. I have sinned as well. I come to you as a sinner. You know? But I'm trying to do better. Real talk. I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to be more responsible with the platform. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes from here. Okay. But who keeps Josh accountable? Unfortunately, you guys. And also, Bun Sauce, I do apologize to you. I think I went a little too hard on you as well. My bad. Darboyd says, congrats on the new kid. That X-Men finale was sick. No Avengers for life. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Should we get into talking about X-Men 97 before it gets way too fucking hot in here? Or do you guys have any questions? We need that diss track. Don't you forget it, man. Wait, don't I forget what? Josh Cole. Yeah, a little bit. I am. A little bit I am. I mean, look, here's the thing. Like, I think a lot of us have sort of different aspects within what you would call our personality. And, you know, I do a lot of self-work, a lot of meditation. I've been to counseling. I've seen psychiatrists. I've been to therapy. I think working on yourself is really important, right? And there's a lot of stuff that, like, I'm going through and I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to get better and I'm trying to be a more peaceful person. I'd like to find my way back to love as much as I possibly can. I think if your North Star is love, you're doing great. Like, the world is very complicated, but I think if you can just try to find your way back to love, a lot of the complications go away. It becomes pretty simple what you should do. Okay? However, I absolutely have a tyrant inside of me. Meaning, there's an aspect of my personality that wants to crush. And if I feel like a person is an enemy, or if I feel like somebody's being adversarial, or, you know, something like that, that side of me comes out. It's like very toxic. And I want to destroy and sit on a fucking throne like Conan the Barbarian, drinking out of the skull of my enemies. You know what I mean? That's real. That absolutely exists inside of me. But it's about what wolf do you feed? You know? Like, what wolf do you feed? And, you know, if you've ever heard Jung talk about the shadow self and the integration of the shadow, it's not about ignoring that. It's like, you should realize that about yourself. There's a tyrant in all of us. You know? So I'm just a person trying to do better, you know, and trying to find my way back to love, but also, you know, so that's what it is. That's me when I play Fortnite. Right on, bro. Right on. Okay. Should we talk about X-Men 97? Yeah, should we talk about X-Men 97 before I start sweating and that's another thing too. Let me just say this. I've blamed the heat for the stream on Monday too. Real talk. Because it starts baking in here like a kiln. with an M. And I'm getting angry and I'm just off the cuff. And I feel like it was the heat. It feels like the heat was sinking into my brain and making me be more aggressive and less passive. And also, what do you mean we only have 300 likes? What the fuck? Are you not entertained? Am I not doing a good job? Am I not out here like fucking? Can I just get a couple more likes? Can we get it up to like 400 or 500, please? I only see 104 likes. Well, now I'm even more pissed. Those Cokes are probably warm and gross now. There's some in the fridge, though. Okay, last ADD side note before we get into X-Men 97. Holy shit. Pop that top off, bro. Hey, we're getting close. Okay, 2 more ADD side notes because you just brought it up, okay? Let's do the first one, then let's back it up, then we'll do the other one, then we'll do the X-Men 97, okay? First ADD side note. I'm getting in pretty good shape, but here's what keeps happening to me, and I wonder if any of you guys in chat can relate to this. Some of you older dudes can probably relate to this. For the past couple of years, I keep getting into like good shape, and then I either get injured or something crazy happens, and it's like I can't get over like this. Like I keep getting in really great shape, but I don't push through to phenomenal shape. It just keeps happening. I don't know why. Like, and so I am here again. I've come to the precipice once again. And I'm trying to be super cautious, but also like push because it's like, I don't want to like fucking hurt my back or hurt my ankle or hurt my shoulder again. You know what I mean? Like, I want to get into phenomenal shape. We've made it back to pretty good. I want to be in phenomenal shape. Right? So I wonder if any of you guys kind of struggle with that too. So I'm kind of like at that, and I'm trying to work through it. I want to, eat right, sleep well, and just kind of chill. Have a second kid. That will definitely help with spending time on yourself. God damn it, Adam. God damn it, Adam. Don't lift heavy. Well, I think the thing is don't lift too heavy, right? I think maybe what happens is as I start to begin to feel stronger, I begin to want to push it a little bit more. You know what I mean? So it's like interesting. I'm back, and I'm also like, I'm super cognizant of like, okay, you finally got back here. For the past 2 years, every time you get here, it gets fucked up somehow. So chill, but also keep going? Question mark? So that's the first ADD side note thing. The second ADD side note thing. Hey, shout out to the Nerd Executive. Guys, Ryan was playing Marvel Rivals yesterday. I would have loved to hop on and play with him. No diddy. And he was doing great. And I think, did you break a record yesterday? Because you almost had like 100 people watching on Twitch. You were killing it, man. And on top of that, the stream was really entertaining. He has some really interesting like things that pop up on the screen, a really interesting way for people to be interactive on the stream. Like, I was genuinely entertained when I popped in. I was like, dang, this is really cool. So shout out to Ryan, man. You're right. Look, I definitely know what it's like to go and, make content and be trying really hard and not necessarily seeing all the success right away. Sometimes it takes time. I was like 2 or 3 years of Den of Nerds before I ever made any money, and then it was slow going for a while until, we popped off. So shout out to Ryan, man. And you guys should go check out the stream. I'll link it again when he's live on the Discord. But I've kind of felt like a proud papa a little bit, He's killing it over there. That was impressive stuff. So go check that out if you have not. Okay. Let's get into this, man. Let's talk about X-Men 97. Let us begin. Wait, let me take a sip of coffee before we get into this. I'm not necessarily going to go heavy spoilers right now, Paul. But I want to talk about the show, why it's such a triumph, why Marvel should be feeling very good about this, why it's a hit, And we'll talk about the numbers, the viewership. We're going to talk about Invincible. We're going to go all over the place with this little segment here, okay? But this isn't a breakdown of the episode. We'll watch Paul's video after this, and we'll go through a breakdown, okay? So allow me to take a sip of coffee. By the way, just curious, chat. I'm sure a lot of you finished the season. What would you rate this first season of X-Men 97 out of 10? What would you rate it? Hail Wizard says 10, 10, 11, 9.5. What would have got you to 10, Adam? I'm curious. 9, 9.5, 8, 97. I like that answer. 1,000. Damn. 20. Damn. Look at that enthusiasm, man. We tend to ask this question a lot after we watch particular episodes or when we wrap up on a season or whatever. Chat, do you guys remember the last time we had ratings this high? When was the last time we had ratings this high? I want to say it was the 5th episode of Ahsoka. But as far as an overall show, I cannot maybe Loki season 1. I can't really remember a time when we were this united and this excited about maybe Mando season 2, maybe, yeah. Loki season 2. See, here's the thing. Loki season 2 was great, but it does kind of start off a little bit shaky. Like those first 4 episodes they kind of drag for me a little bit, you know? I think the ending is wow, you know? WandaVision? No. Maybe before the finale. 10. I was getting coffee, which is why my score is delayed. That's okay. Appreciate you. Yeah, maybe Tales of the Jedi. I think Tales of the Jedi was that good. I think there were a lot of people that hyped up on Tales, but this is still shocking, right? So X-Men 97 is wrapped up. The finale came out today, and I think it's a true triumph, man. And I want to talk about why the show matters so much for Marvel. Marvel's got to be going like this, like, whoo. But also, I think Marvel's probably pretty excited about this show essentially kicking off what I'm calling the MCU comeback season, because this subverted expectations, and not in the way that like Last Jedi and a lot of other things have been subverting expectations. I mean, I think many of us, I'll speak for myself, I was very trepidatious. I was very concerned. I was worried about this show. And so my expectations were kind of low. And I was really worried because, look, Marvel has had a lot of misses over the last couple of years. That's just what it is. And the 90s X-Men show is so seminal to nerds. It is such an important project. And the concern would be if this was just your regularly scheduled Disney Plus crap, it was not going to be good enough, and it was going to do damage. You're better off not making X-Men 97 than making it and having it be lackluster, because I think you would have felt that. You definitely would have felt that, right? And to my surprise, and I think to the surprise of many people, what's up, Rob? Rob, I'm in a soliloquy right now. I'm going off, and I'm also recording this for a video, so forgive me, Rob. I gotta just go. I had my expectations subverted in a very good way with the show, and I think a lot of us were caught off guard and surprised by it. I think the show is adult. That's one of the things that really shocked me, was how adult it is. And I mean, there's stuff and themes even in the finale, man, that I was like, bro, like there's just layers thematically to what's happening between these characters. Like when Cyclops, standing over dying Wolverine, says, "Don't you dare break her heart. Do what you do best and survive and heal," or whatever he said. And you're just like, it just hits on a level where, like, I'm telling you, an adolescent is not even going to understand that. That's like a layered adult relationship. I mean, some people call it a throuple, you know, and I think that there is some evidence in comics that maybe there's a throuple there. But I sort of saw it more as like just a maturity of understanding how other people mean things to the people that you care about and the true kind of layered relationship that you have going on there. The show is so well written, not just in plot, and I think the plot's off the chain. Like, it's truly crazy how the plot was built up to this, but also just in the character moments themselves. I mean, it is truly inspiring character moments. The dialogue is really good. A lot of really fun one-liners, a lot of moments throughout the series where you're just like, damn, like that was pretty clever, right? Which is not something we've been saying about a lot of Marvel stuff, lately. I think one of the things that also surprised me about X-Men 97 was how it takes the ball and goes. It takes what the old show did well and enhances it, which is crazy because we would have probably just been happy if it just carried the same tone and the same thing forward, but it didn't do that. It did better. It goes further. And I think in some ways the show benefits from standing on the shoulders of giants, right? You've got obviously a lot of X-Men writers. You've got the old original animated show. But as Rob has pointed out in some of our conversations, even the 90s show did not have all of the X-Men stories that this show now has. You're talking about 20, maybe 22 years of shows, or rather of comic stories that the show now gets to kind of pick from. You also have the movies. You also have the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I felt this a lot in the finale specifically, that the popularity of the MCU actually raised the profile and it gave more tools or toys for this X-Men 97 team to work with. Because seeing some of the cameos and the characters that we see in the finale, I think hits a little bit more because of the popularity of the MCU. It's like everybody knows who Black Panther is now. And we have like seeing the Dora Milaje and seeing Black Panther and the Dora Milaje drawn similar to the MCU. It's like that connection is there and exists even stronger than it had before, So, you got your Iron Man and you got your Captain America. I truly think back in the day when the 90s show was first popping off, bro, Shellhead and basically, Rogers the Boy Scout, they don't really move the needle. Maybe Captain America a little bit more so, but like Iron Man wasn't really that popular back then. But now, because of, RDJ and Tony Stark, we see Iron Man and we see Captain America chilling with the president, and it just has a little bit more oomph, right? So I think the show does this brilliant thing of using a lot of the success of Marvel in the time period from when the old show ended and this show began to its benefit, which is like really brilliant and kind of caught me off guard. You know what I mean? Like, frankly, catches me off guard a little bit. I think the show also proves that it's really about the characters, right? And specifically with this show, part of the reason that I think it resonates so much is because it's characters that we know well. The X-Men, the original, group, and, Jean and Cyclops and Logan and Gambit and Rogue, Magneto and Charles, that core group, which has been developed through media for a long, long time, there is an archetype for each one of these characters that you can appreciate, even if you don't read all of the comics. You generally have an understanding of what Magneto is like. You generally have an understanding of what Charles is like. And so in this finale, a lot of the scenes between them, they hit really, really hard because you know these characters. And it feels cathartic to go through this struggle with them, knowing what you know about them. Okay? And, even a character like Sunspot, who's like a newer character, not, technically new, but not OG, right? That character is developed alongside these other characters in the same way that like Jubilee and maybe Kitty Pryde had been developed in some other X-Men runs. And I think it just shows this really cool blueprint, which is to say, you still need the OGs and you need those iconic characters. You can develop other characters alongside them, but you need the big ones. I don't think this show works as well if it's a completely different team of unknown characters because you don't have that same archetype. You can't attach or associate with those characters in the same way. And I'm really hoping that that is a lesson that Marvel Studios learns because I think Phase 4 kind of shows that when you remove a lot of, big characters that are archetypical that you have known for years. I mean, there's a reason the X-Men are as big. There's a reason a lot of these characters like Spider-Man, Hulk, Thor are as big as they are. I think when you remove a lot of that stuff and you kind of try to develop outside of it, it just doesn't resonate the same way. So I think this show is sort of laying a blueprint for Marvel Studios as far as why you need some of these big iconic characters to do a lot of heavy lifting. And it's not heavy lifting in the sense of like, oh, that's cool that that character did that shit. No, I'm talking about the emotional beats, the character moments. Those work because we have an attachment and we understand what that character is. Who is this person? That only happens with iconic characters. You know what I mean? And you can build an iconic character, but it's not going to happen right away. It's a little bit similar to like, Bad Batch, maybe not the best example, but like you build Omega with the 99. You build her with Rex. You build her with these other characters, right? And then she becomes kind of something a little bit more iconic eventually, right? Now, the other thing that's wild about this is holy shit, what a great time to have a hit like this with X-Men. Because the reality of what Marvel has been going through in the past couple of years, I mean, they aren't even denying it anymore, right? You've got Feige talking about how they're the underdog again. You've got Sean Levy saying, look, you'd have to be living under a rock to know or to not know that Marvel hasn't been lighting it up the same way. You've got Luis D'Esposito saying we got a little too comfortable. Maybe we're trying to do too much and things just haven't worked out. And now we're back to trying to build it back up again. What I am calling comeback season. And to have a show like this come out, be as popular with the fans as it has been is a huge boon to them. And on top of that, it's just brilliant programming because we're going to go from 97 into Deadpool and Wolverine, yellow costume Wolverine, into a lot of X-Men. Oh, and by the way, the X-Men are about to come into the MCU, right? So we've been talking about this, but it is absolutely the case that Kevin Feige is developing the X-Men right now. And so it's got to feel pretty good to be sitting back and being like, okay, so that is definitely working. It's obviously resonating with fans. Deadpool and Wolverine seems to be popping off. People are very excited about that movie. So if I were Marvel, if I were Feige, I'd be feeling pretty good sitting back and saying like, wow, this stuff's working and we haven't even really pulled the trigger. We have all the, we can do X-Men now. And I think the age of the X-Men is going to literally save the Marvel Cinematic Universe because it just is popping, man. It's what is working, and it's also a property that can grow with the audience. There's a lot of discussion these days about, is Marvel not growing with its audience? Because a lot of us grew up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and yet now, you see things like The Boys and Invincible and some of these more mature things that are becoming very popular. Is Marvel unable to grow with its audience? Well, X-Men presents an incredible opportunity because X-Men, and it's so funny because it's like George Lucas says, it's like poetry. This happened in comics. X-Men became the thing in comics that was able to sort of rejuvenate Marvel's whole entire line. The X-Men hard carried Marvel. They were the whole thing that kind of saves Marvel Comics, and now they might be the thing that saves Marvel live action, right? And I think that with the X-Men just is the opportunity to do more mature stories. Not necessarily more gritty, violent, R-rated stuff, but I'm talking about like from the material perspective. This is stuff that is just more mature. allegorical social issues, but also just the idea of otherizing somebody, right? That is kind of caked into it. And so I think it's quite brilliant. And if I were Marvel, I'd be feeling so good. I'd be like thanking my lucky fucking stars that the 97 show popped off, that Deadpool Wolverine's popping off, and we have the X-Men to be able to launch out there for the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe and really pivot things. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about as far as it not charting, okay? Because I've had people on Twitter asking me about this. I've had some of you guys asking me about this. What's the deal with X-Men 97 not charting on Nielsen? If it is this big hit, why is it not charting on Nielsen? Well, it's kind of interesting, right? Because, first of all, that is undeniable. It did not chart at all in originals or overall on Nielsen. That's just true. But neither did Invincible. And from what I've heard, X-Men 97 actually pulled in more numbers than Invincible, which is interesting because I think the Invincible episodes are around an hour. Am I not right on that? I'm pretty sure Invincible's episodes are like between 40 minutes and an hour, and there were 8 of them, right? There are 10 episodes of X-Men 97, and they're around a half hour, right? So you're literally talking about 5 hours to 8 hours of content. So with a whole 3 extra hours, almost double the amount of minutes, Invincible actually performed worse than X-Men 97. So I think Marvel should take that as a good sign. I think X-Men broke records for its premiere. It did 4 million in 5 days, which is the biggest animated thing they've ever put on Disney Plus. And so I think there's a lot of positive takeaways. But the other thing that's interesting here is that narrative matters, right? And when you look at a show like Invincible, I think the narrative is that season 2 was a step back. I think the narrative on Invincible is they really screwed up. They took way too long. They did a weird in the mid-season break. That's another reason why it probably didn't chart on Nielsen. There's also the release time. There's a lot of stuff. Like the narrative on Invincible is negative. The narrative on X-Men 97 is incredibly positive. That narrative is huge. And I've seen crazy shit happening in the fandom where you had people like the Yellow Flash coming out on Twitter and publicly saying, I was wrong about Bo DeMayo. X-Men 97 is a masterpiece. It's one of the best things Marvel's ever done. By the way, Bo DeMayo said thank you to him. And the reason that's important, the reason that's really interesting is because you basically have a show that is so good, it is kind of hater-proof. It is making certain people that would make their bread and butter on hating Marvel be quiet or literally turn into a supporter of the show. That's fascinating, especially within the culture that we exist in right now. That's something Marvel should really take note of. Literally hater-proof. And the narrative around it is so fucking positive. And we've seen actual data that supports it trending. More than Bad Batch, more than Invincible, more than like any of these other shows. That show was trending. I remember after episode 5, there were like 5 or 6 things that were trending. Fucking Gambit was trending at like 100K tweets. It was crazy. So if I were Marvel, I wouldn't be too super concerned with the show not charting on Nielsen. I would feel very positive about the Twitter engagement, the social media engagement that happened with that show. And I think it kind of shows that there's a sort of bubble thing that happens in fandom, right? And my impression of what happened with X-Men 97 is this. X-Men 97 made the really hardcore nerd community very satisfied. Maybe it didn't branch out into the more normie, casual audience member thing. I think that's fair. Maybe because it's a cartoon, maybe because of the lengths of the episode. Could be a variety of reasons. But I think you can't deny that the show popped off for the people that are very engaged in this stuff. And that's a W. I personally think it's possible that the next season does chart. There are a couple of different reasons why. Number one, you will include the rewatches into season 2, so it's going to get a little bit more of a boost. I sort of wonder if maybe they'll make the episodes a bit longer to try to help with charting. I also could see them maybe dropping it as a binge, even though that's a little bit less desirable for the discussion. That would help them chart. I've seen discussion of that where people were saying, okay, well, if these shows, like even Invincible, were to drop all at once, they have a much better chance of charting because the current metrics for that are like minutes watched over the first 5 days or in a window or something like that, right? So I'll be really interested to see how will it chart. Is it actually possible that it charts? The other thing that I'll show you real quick here is that it is actually performing super well. So we've got some data coming out, and I find this chart to be fascinating here. Let me pull this up for you guys. And maybe you've seen certain channels out there kind of going hater with their narrative. Like I've seen some people say like, oh, X-Men 97 is a flop because Echo got more views than it. And why is it like up in the corner here? That's so weird. I don't know if there's a way I can fix that. Give me a second. Let me see if I can fix this. Okay, well, at least it's centered. Okay, so if you look at this here, it's kind of interesting. 2024 share of Disney Plus original series. It is, which also, what the hell? Percy Jackson? I had no idea Percy Jackson was kind of crushing it like this. This big chunk up here, that's Bluey. They call it other. They might as well just call it Bluey, though. Because that's what that is. You have a bunch of different things over here, like literally Mando Season 1, making up 2.6, Season 3, 3.3, Ahsoka. Like, there's a lot of stuff that people are still watching within 2024, right? This is the one that's kind of throwing people, though. You've got Echo getting like 12% of the total viewership here, and then you've got X-Men 97 over at like 7%. And the Bad Batch Season 3 is actually not too far behind them, which is kind of interesting. And so people are saying like this is crazy, and they're calling it a flop because they think Echo performing better in 2024 means that this is a flop. But when you really consider what's happening here, Echo was, how many episodes was it? Was it 5 episodes? I forget. How many episodes was Echo? I know it wasn't a super long season, right? Was it 5 or 6 episodes? And they're an hour or more. I think the first episode was like an hour and a half or something like that, right? So they're a lot longer. And I think when you consider just how people view content, most people are not super hardcore nerds like us. And the success of Marvel Studios, you know, in the Infinity Saga was the fact that they had kind of broken out of the nerd bubble and they were in the mainstream. You don't become endgame level success without the mainstream. So you still have a lot of mainstream normies that will check out live action Marvel stuff. Maybe they're not going to stick with it, but they're at least going to give it a shot because they've had so many positive experiences. Despite Phase 4, they've had a lot of positive experiences with the Marvel content, right? So I kind of look at this and I think, man, that's really interesting because I actually, if I were Disney looking at this, I'd actually be pretty happy with Bad Batch and X-Men 97's numbers here. Now, the difference, of course, is that Bad Batch really didn't trend. It really didn't do much on social media, and X-Men 97 did. I have personally felt like there have been so many big videos in our bubble talking about X-Men 97. I don't feel that way about Bad Batch. So it sort of shows that there is this difference in what you would call success within the nerdy bubble and then within like mass appeal normie viewership numbers. And I also think X-Men 97 will only go up from here and has the potential to sort of break into charts in its next season. So overall, a massive success. X-Men 97 blew me away. And I think it blew a lot of people away. I think it will get a lot of viewership in the coming months as more and more people either discover it. If it wins an Emmy, that's going to, push more people to it. And I really do think that no matter how you slice it, it's a big success. Anybody that's saying it's a flop is literally clickbaiting you. They're literally lying to you. That's not at all the case. But I will admit, I would have loved for the show to actually hit Nielsen top 10 charts, 100%. And I'd love to know actually just the general data of all of this sort of stuff. But I still feel strongly that this is a big hit for Marvel. And this is a sign of good things to come. The MCU comeback season is upon us. Whew. Okay. Need another sip of coffee. Holy shit. So what do you think? Bring back Bo? I'd love for them to bring back Bo. I don't know if it'll happen, though. I don't know if it'll happen. Hey, when we do a little Q&A, would you guys mind if I put the AC on for a second? I got this other AC unit hooked up. It's going to be loud. I'm going to be honest. Let's test it. Let's see. That one's loud, dude. Whew. Like, that one's loud. It's probably not too bad. Can you guys deal? If we get it to cool down in here, I can turn it off. But I need to cool down a little bit. Den of Ice Packs? Yeah, that shit was funny, huh? That shit was funny. A lot of you guys were posting the photo of me with the ice packs on my cheeks. No, did he? I thought that was pretty funny. Okay. Do you guys see? You want to see some of the gangster Kevin Feige photos? Here, hang on one second. I want to show you this. It's kind of funny. Okay. So, if we were to make an actual album with Kevin Feige, okay? And it was like, comeback season is here, right? We got this one. I shared this on Twitter. I also like this one. I'm going to mess around a little bit more too, because I want to try to get some gangster Feige energy in here for sure. What do you think, chat? Yeah, man. It's comeback season, baby. Rob, I was saying before you got in here, I think he needs to embrace it. I think he needs to get, like, clean suits, super clean. I think he needs to get a couple chains. I think he needs to start wearing shades and get, like, all black hats. Like, it's comeback season, baby. Woo! Go for it. 2 Chainz Feige. Exactly, bro. I'm different. I'm different. You remember that 2 Chainz song? So what do you guys think, man? Call Rob? Does Rob want to call? Let me see. Okay, yeah. Yeah. You wanna come on and talk about this, bro? I definitely want to have Rob on, but I wish I didn't have like the AC and everything going on when he called in. That's my only that's the only thing I'm kind of bummed about. But I guess fuck it, man. We can. Let me give Rob a call. Let's chat it up about this episode. And just overall the season. 'Tis the season to love X-Men. All right, I'm giving you a call, bro. Oh, wait. I got to allow that. All right, pause that. Yo, give me one more time. What's up? What's up?
What's up, dude?
Oh, nice. I got you. Okay, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, I'm on my AirPods and I'm making coffee right now. So
You're making some what kind of coffee are you making?
Mariah got me some coffee. Well, it's a little bit that I have left, but she got me some like Ethiopian blend.
Ooh.
It's technically coffee around the world, so it's a bunch of different types. But yeah,
that's cool. Are you just doing what are you doing? Just a regular brew? Are you doing a cold brew? Are you doing a French press?
Hot coffee. I don't do cold.
Yeah,
I do cold brew.
Do you ever do a French press?
I have never done French press. No.
Have you had a French press or no?
I have not.
Oh, dude, it's really good, but they're really oily. It's like it really brings out the flavor, but it's like really heavy, really oily. But yeah, I like coffee quite a bit.
I'm good with just hot water and coffee grounds.
Oh, there you go. Well, dude, let's talk about this X-Men 97 season, dude. This shit blew me away. I'm sure you're feeling the same way. By the way, shout out to you for calling a lot of this stuff, being the X-Men aficionado. But yeah, what's your overall take, man? Like, bro, this feels fucking incredible, doesn't it?
Oh, it absolutely does, man. I mean, the ending of season 1, like those final episodes, like the final shot is just like the alpha and omega of Apocalypse, right? Like the beginning and the end of Apocalypse.
Yeah,
that's really all it is.
No, yeah, 100%, yeah.
But yeah, like, dude, the show was phenomenal, man. Like, I mean, I didn't really go into it cynical, you know, like this show is gonna be trashed because something wokeness, right? Like, you know,
yeah,
it wasn't really like that. Like, I was just kind of going into it like, how much of the nostalgia that I remember from being a kid is going to resonate here?
Yeah.
And it's one of the things where, as similar as the show is and as good as it is, there are a lot of huge differences, right? Like X-Men, I mean, you pointed this out earlier, right? X-Men the Animated Series, it just told a bunch of disjointed stories, essentially.
Yep.
Right? So you get like for example, like they would say, like, you know, previously on X-Men, and you got Days of Future Past, the introduction of Bishop, and then they show like the events of Days of Future Past in like Time Fugitives, and then they reference Days of Future Past again, right, in the recap scene in like One Man's Worth, and then in Beyond Good and Evil. But X-Men 97 season 1, it told one cohesive story.
Yeah.
Right, and so if we were taking X-Men 97 and we said, okay, like, how would this have been done if it was a one-to-one shot of X-Men the Animated Series? The whole of season 1 would have been like 2 or 3 episodes.
Sure, yeah.
In X-Men the Animated Series.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And so, you know, I recognize that, like, there are big differences, you know, between the original and this one, man. But I gotta say, like, this was every bit as much of... It's everything I was hoping for in terms of a continuation from the original. Because it's not a one-to-one. They're not trying to duplicate the original. They were trying to establish they were trying to bring in the nostalgia of the original and a lot of the older fans like me.
Yep.
While also making something that felt like what you would see from the MCU today.
Yeah.
And yeah, Bo DeMayo, like I was talking to Bo DeMayo and I was like, dude, this like, you guys absolutely killed it with this show, man. Like this, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, no, and I think it's like rare too that, because you know, you talk about like nostalgia and, you know, playing off of what came before. I think that's one skill set, and even doing that can be difficult, but it's crazy to do that and then enhance it, right? So to take it even further and to go, like, that's just so rare. Like, I'm trying to think of another example that has done that recently in fandom, and it's difficult. Maybe House of the Dragon, because I think in some ways, like, House of the Dragon even does Game of Thrones stuff better than Game of Thrones, which is wild. But like, that is so crazy because that doesn't happen on accident. That happens from careful thought, right? It's like, okay, we have this is what worked and this is what's gonna hit for people. We want to play the hits, but I think this is how we could take it to the next level. And I love how layered the show is, how things continue to pay off in like the micro and then in the macro as well. It's an incredibly well crafted show, and I think they deserve, not just praise, but like awards. Like, this is unique. It's unique to entertainment, not just animation. This is unique to entertainment, and they really did do something that they're living in rarefied air. I hope everybody that was involved in this show, including Bo, is sitting back today and just letting that love wash over them and feeling fucking good, because y'all did it, man. You did something unbelievable and something that I wasn't expecting. I think, like you said, I think my greatest hope was don't screw it up. Like, my greatest expectation was just that I can still watch them both and appreciate it all together. I didn't in a million years think they were going to take that and make it somehow even better. So, I mean, I'm frankly blown away, man. What do you think about, like, how should the Marvel fandom be feeling right now? And how do you think how do you think Marvel Studios is feeling right now?
Honestly, I think the fandom just needs to enjoy the moment, just needs to ride this and just be like, we just finished the first season of what is quite possibly I wouldn't even say possibly, like, which is definitively, maybe alongside Loki, like probably the greatest television product that Marvel has released. And if I'm being honest, man, like, I would argue, like, this is better than most of the movie products they've made.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Like, I can count on one hand the movies that Marvel has produced that are as good or better than season 1 of X-Men 97. And it's not even me saying that. It's just like, oh, I'm a huge X-Men fan. Looking at it objectively.
Yeah.
Right? Like, looking at it objectively, man. I mean, top to bottom, right? First episode to last episode. The pacing was fantastic. The emotional drive.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, man. Like, episode 5 finished. You remember, I mean, Twitter was losing their shit. Like, they were losing their mind.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And what's so crazy, like a buddy of mine, Paulus, right, known him from high school. This guy has never once that I've ever been aware of been like an X-Men fan or a comic book fan or anything like that. The guy's a Star Wars nerd, right? Like, he is to Star Wars what I am to comics.
Sure.
Right, guy knows everything about everything. And the dude's like hitting me up after every episode. Holy cow, that's nuts! Like, it was like I told him, like, at the end of this one, I was like, dude, you're gonna have a lot of questions about Mother Ascani and all that kind of stuff, and what's going on, and well, I guess Rachel Summers, right? We're going to throw a name out there. Mm-hmm. Well, you're going to have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And he's just been watching it with rapt attention. And the funny thing is, and I feel like it's not even just him when it came to this. He didn't watch it when it originally launched. He was not there on like the first episode. He got into it maybe 2 or 3 weeks after. So he jumped on, I think, with episode 3 and got caught up.
Interesting.
But yeah, he was a person who was just kind of like, and it won him over. And I think there were a lot of people who were like that, man. I think there were a lot of people who were just kind of like, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see what's up. And they're seeing reactions on social media, and they're seeing people who were just like, oh my God, this character and that character and that kind of thing. And it's the FOMO.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're like, okay, well, like, let's jump into it. Like, let's see what's going on. And then they're hooked in.
Yep.
Right. So I still say, I mean, obviously, episode number 5, clearly the best episode of this season.
Yeah.
But it was just because of the effect.
Sure.
One, because it pulled the rug out from people. Nobody saw it coming. I mean, reading comics, right? You saw it coming. I saw it coming. Everybody saw it coming. Like, okay, cool. So here's a moment where, like, there's a boatload of mutants who are all just hanging out in one location having a good time. Okay, so let's start the clock because something
that never ends well. Like, that literally never ends well. Yeah.
Yeah, it always ends badly. Like, the X-Men are together having a good time. Cool, let's screw it up.
Yeah.
Like, it always ends poorly. And I mean, even like myself as a comic book fan, like, I was watching that episode. I went back and probably watched that scene maybe 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Over the course of the 3 days after it aired.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude, it was such an emotional episode, and there was so much that happened, and it was just, yeah, man, like, it's funny because there were, I don't really like doing comparisons, but if somebody sat me down or they asked me the question, they said, after watching the original X-Men animated series as a kid, watching it multiple times over the years, more times than I could probably count, right? And then sitting down and watching X-Men 97, which one would you say is better? I would say for cohesive storytelling, X-Men 97 runs away with it.
It's
right?
definitely,
And it's yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even close.
Yeah,
It's not even
I
close.
agree with you, which is crazy too, because like imagine yourself thinking that before this show happened. Because I know you're that big of an X-Men fan. I know what the old show means to you. So imagine, like, I don't know, like that's just such a crazy thing to have gone there, right? But yeah, so I think you were saying like fans should just enjoy the moment and just like kind of ride the wave. But you also said that this might be even better than a lot of the movies. So if that's true, which I think you're right, like I will say this, it is put together so much better than anything we've gotten recently because I think the Marvel formula kind of fell under its own weight a little bit because they try to fix things in post, they try to rewrite a lot, they change things a lot, right? And most of the stuff recently has just felt very unfulfilled where 97 feels like every little thing matters and it's such a tight product and it's just like the craftsmanship is on point, right? So, what do you think Marvel Studios should be doing? Like, what if you're Kevin Feige and you're seeing this and you're feeling what the fan base is feeling, what do you think Marvel Studios should do from here? Uh-oh. Rob? Oh, he muted. His coffee might be going crazy or something. Rob, you muted. Something might have happened with the coffee.
1 second, man. I have to run to the bathroom.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll hold on. We'll hold on. Chat, what do you think is going on? Is Rob?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I got you.
Hello?
Are you there? Uh-oh. Right. Rob? Rob?
Okay. Can you hear me?
I got you. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. There you are. Okay, cool.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Cool. Did you hear my question about Kevin? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think? What do you think Kevin should do?
I have this weird clapping in the back.
It's probably just my air conditioner. I don't know if there's clapping. Here.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I'm going crazy. I don't technical difficulties.
You're Legion. You've gone David Howler.
David Howlett? Yeah.
Yeah, Howlett. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we're on Discord. Yeah, literally, chat. It sounds like somebody's cheeks are getting clapped, which is weird. It's just like this monotone, like this monotone. What do they call that?
Oh, like a thing for music or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I just fixed it. Yeah. I don't
Metronome.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Metronome. Yeah. Metronome. Okay. Cool. Can you hear me? Am I good?
I got you.
Okay, cool. It's a funny thing. Like to your question, like Kevin Feige. I mean, it's a win, right? And Feige and them, Feige's got to be having just this deep sigh of relief. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Feige's a cool guy. I don't trust the MCU in the hands of anybody else but him. But like when episode 1 came out, he had to be like, okay, cool. Like we're doing good, we're doing solid. Episode 5 had to hit, and it had to be him just sitting down with a deep sigh of relief, like, thank God.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
It's if they had dropped X-Men 97 and it had been just another flop, then that would have just eroded it a little bit more. And
I think they would have been cooked, bro. I feel like if this wouldn't have worked, they might have been cooked a little bit.
I don't know if I would say cooked. I mean, if I'm being honest, like I think Feige, if we're breaking this down into a pie chart, right? Like what Marvel is investing their eggs in the hope that people will say, okay, so Phase 4 was just kind of a rough spot. We're talking 80% Deadpool and Wolverine and 20% X-Men 97.
Yeah.
But I think coming out of X-Men 97, that people are just like, okay, like, so Marvel's not out. Like they still got it, man. And so it's the question, like, can they hold on to it?
Yeah.
And Wolverine and Deadpool will show that. Like Wolverine and Deadpool will prove that to be true. Because I think it's going to live up to every bit of the hype, and people are going to go into it, incredibly hyped. But no, Kevin Feige and them are riding high. I think he went into it nervous, and it's like, God, I really hope this is solid. Truth to tell, man, and even then, I don't know why Bo DeMayo, I don't know why they cut him loose.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest, man. Like Disney and Marvel have got to be feeling it now, dude.
Yeah.
And they've kind of got to be like, all right, so like maybe we should bring this guy back. And that's the thing. I imagine Bo, just on a personal level, he's just gotta be like, yeah, man. Like he's got to be able to have. He's got that redemption feeling, because before it all, right? Like you had people on YouTube who were just like, Morph is considered non-binary, and X-Men 97 is gonna be woke, And there were all these people who, having never seen an episode of the show, right, were not even really predicting, right? It was more like as a statement of fact, right? This show is going to be crap. And Bo DeMayo just got to be kind of sitting back, like, what's that you say? Like, I can't hear you over the sound of the resounding applause for this, just phenomenal project that myself and other writers have created here, right? Yeah. So, it's got to be a good feeling, right? Yeah. It's got to be a good feeling for him. And now he's got some bargaining chips.
Yeah.
Right. Like now he's got some bargaining chips, because I imagine it's going to be hard. Like if I'm a betting man, like sometime between now and season 3, I don't know how far they've done with season 3, if it's even done at all, that they're going to be like, so we brought Bo DeMayo.
Yeah.
Right. Like, because how do you not? Like, how do you not? Like how after season 1, unless season 2 just screws the pooch disastrously, and as I understand it, Bo DeMayo, like he's the one, like he handled seasons 1 and 2.
Yes.
I don't see how they, unless season 2 just totally screws the pooch, I don't see how they come out of this and just be like, no, we're not going to bring it back on. There's no reason to. Like I don't see how that happens.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would love for him to come back, and I think it would feel good for the fans. It was kind of fascinating watching the change up on Bo, because I want to say, like, definitely before episode 5, there was still a lot of energy on the internet of like, oh, this could be another, bad person, because we still don't know. We have no idea why they parted ways with him, but I think when you part ways with a head writer literally right before a premiere, it's just a super bad look. It made it seem like whatever happened was pretty egregious. I don't know that it is. Yeah. That's just kind of what it seemed like. And then after episode 5, like, dude, the whole internet changed up, where they were like, I don't care what he did. Like, bring him back. And I think, to be fair, there was the James Gunn situation where he was fired after, all those old jokes and photos surfaced, and then they eventually hired him back. So it's not like Disney hasn't done this before, but without context, it's just like super hard to make that call. But I will say, I think he did tremendous work. I think they would want him back. I was joking around earlier, but I was like, dude, even if they gotta just let him ghost write, I would let him touch everything. No Diddy, right? But I would let him literally write on everything, because they did that with Joss Whedon for a while. So for a while, Joss Whedon had this huge development deal. He'd come in, like, dude, Joss came in and did punch-ups on Thor: The Dark World. Some of the best, like that Loki scene with Hemsworth when they're in the cell, like some of the more redeeming parts of that movie were Joss Whedon. So there are ways to do this where you could bring him in and have him do touch-up work on a lot of different things. But I think it would also feel good publicly to bring him back. It's just like hard because we really just don't know, right?
I mean, we really don't. Like, for all we know, there was a mutiny in the writers' room, right? Yeah. And they were just like, get him out of here or we all quit. I mean, like, you have no idea. I mean, there's no way to know. And it wasn't a question I was going to ask. It's not my place to ask.
Yeah.
Question, but yeah, like it was, it's one of those things where when you're Bo DeMayo and you're in this situation where you have one side of the internet community that's calling your project, trash and woke and all that kind of stuff. And you have another side of the community that's like, well, we don't even know if we really trust Marvel anymore.
Well, also,
and then you get to the end.
Well, also, he got some shit from the lefties too. There were a bunch of lefties that got mad that they were whitewashing Sunspot or something. I don't know if you remember this, but like he got a bunch of.
I pissed off a bunch of people.
Yeah. No, I know you did. I saw you.
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
But
I pissed off the internet.
Look, he had that too though. Before you, about a couple of months before that. It was another thing where like the lefties went crazy on him, and then he was like, that's when he initially walked away from social media for a little bit. But yeah, like, dude, Bo got it from both sides, which means he's probably just a real one that just, says what it is, because that's usually what happens. Both sides go after you. But yeah, he got a lot of shit.
For sure. Yeah. But I mean, when you're that guy, and you're kind of, I mean, you're the head writer, the showrunner, so you're like the face of the project. And while you have people who are in your corner, you're also in some capacity, you feel like you're beset on all sides.
Sure.
By people who are busting you balls, who are giving you shit, all that kind of stuff. And you get to the end of season 1, and then you look around, not just at how the fan base is responding, but you look around at all the other comic book projects that are there, and no one's talking about them. You can't help but kind of have this attitude like, thanks for coming out, guys. You can all collect your prizes at the door because I've won. I mean, you can't help but have that feeling, right? Yeah. Because I mean, think about it, right? Like the whole time that X-Men 97 was going on, like we were fresh off the heels of Invincible. Nobody was talking about it.
Right.
Nobody was talking about Invincible. Nobody was making videos about Invincible. Nobody was making, people, I guess, were making topics, and as much as like Paul or Charlie, or Eric or any of those guys are making videos on like Daredevil or something like that. But there was a fall off. It's their job to make videos on news. Yeah. But like, I mean, you sit down and you watch any of those guys, for every one video they make, like here's some news about Daredevil, there's like 3 videos of like X-Men 97 this, X-Men 97 that, because it's the only thing anybody wants to talk about.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So it's man, it's a phenomenal show, man. Like it's been a phenomenal season, and I'll be honest, and this is the biggest issue that they're going to struggle with when it comes to season 2 is how are they going to top season 1?
I agree. I mean,
how do you make something better than season 1?
Well, I mean, the setup's there, right? You've got Rachel Summers in the future. You've got Insaba Noor in the past. You've got actual Apocalypse in the present. And you were right about the Gambit thing, because like the post-credit scene is him saying so much death with the Gambit card. I mean, dude, he's gonna resurrect him and make him the Horseman of Death, I think. So, bro, like the next season's gonna go crazy across 3 time periods with Apocalypse, bro. That's how you do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the confusing part, and that's the part that throws me off. Because number one, there's the question of who time displaced everybody.
Sure.
And there's a couple routes you can go with it, right? I mean, because X-Men 97 builds on X-Men the Animated Series, and it all just tells one cohesive story. Right, so who's to say that this whole plot, involving Apocalypse and all that kind of stuff, didn't take place, or that he didn't pull some shenanigans during the Beyond Good and Evil episodes? Because those were the episodes where he was in the nexus of time, and you had Bishop hanging out with Immortus and all that kind of stuff.
Yes,
but he was there controlling all points in time, right, for whatever the reason happened to be, or somebody else hasn't ended up in the nexus of time, or Immortus.
Yeah. I agree.
Time distance and all.
Well, when I saw Bishop talking to Forge, I did think about that episode where he was with Immortus in the Nexus, because that's the last time we see Apocalypse, right? Like he gets shut down in the Nexus of Time, right?
Well, there is technically an episode that happens later on during the garbage seasons, or the garbage season when like they shifted animation studios and everything.
Right.
Where I don't remember who it was, if it was Fabian Cortez or whoever, but like Apocalypse comes back as like an essence, like an entity, and then like takes over that guy. But it was a garbage thing. So, everybody's fine to just ignore that and pretend it never happened.
Sure.
I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, technically speaking, in terms of like the episodes that were worth a damn,
Yeah.
you know, that was the last time you effectively saw him, right? You know, and yeah, so I mean, it's there's, I mean, you know, honestly, I've been saying for the longest time, and I know I harp on this a lot, but like the Kangs,
Yeah.
right? Like one of the biggest mistakes that the Marvel Studios has made when it came to the Kangs is not showing how dangerous they are. And if they really wanted to show how dangerous the Kangs were, then all you do is create a situation where at the end of every What If episode and the end of every show that takes place in an alternate universe, because X-Men 97 does not take place in the main Marvel Cinematic Universe, where at the end of all of those, the Kang from that universe shows up, wipes the superheroes, and leaves.
Yep.
And it just establishes that like the Council of Kangs are killing all the superheroes on their Earth.
Rob,
Like you tie it back into
quantum
like what that King said. Yeah.
Bro, we would be in a totally different situation if they had just done that.
Yeah, it would have been cool. Like it would have been really, really amazing because it shows how big of a threat all the Kangs are.
Yeah.
Like it would show how big of a threat they are. But that's neither here nor there, right? I mean, technically, I guess it is because in the past, right, when it shows 3900 BC, right, like that's Kang, right? That giant citadel thing, you know, dome, whatever it is that's off in the distance. That's Ramatut, right? That's King the Conqueror. You know, so yeah, like I mean, obviously they're going to invoke that in some form or fashion. How far-reaching it is, I don't entirely know.
Sure.
I mean, are you familiar with like Apocalypse's origin in the comics and like the Fantastic Four and Ramatut?
Yeah, a little bit. I think I remember deep diving on it during Moon Knight because they actually do show some Ramatut stuff in Moon Knight. They leave it dangling.
Yeah.
They like never go for it there. But like, so Ramatut goes back. He takes over, and then Apocalypse pops up, right? Like that's kind of the timeline. Like an Apocalypse pops up, and then does Kang give him celestial technology? Like I'm a little fuzzy on how that all exactly happens.
No. That's oh god. So that's all a circular thing. So originally Kang just went back in time as Ramatut and just took over Egypt, and like that was it. The Fantastic Four go back in time.
Yeah, Fantastic Four get him. Yeah.
Yeah. What Marvel does is in the Rise of Apocalypse comic, they bookend that into that original story with the Fantastic Four. So Apocalypse is there, but he's not really part of the main conflict with Ramatut. He's just there while the Fantastic Four are beating the crap out of Kang, and then eventually he flees. But Apocalypse is important because when Ramatut crash landed, when Kang crash landed landed in Egypt, he abandoned his ship, took over as Pharaoh, left the ship out there. And then Apocalypse's adopted tribe, the Sandstormers, that were led by Baal takes him to the ship and says, "This is who you are destined to become." And it's like all these displays, right? Hieroglyphics and pictures and all that kind of stuff that show like what Apocalypse will be. And what you end up finding out is the motivation of Kang going back in time to ancient Egypt was to capture Apocalypse and then indoctrinate him as his own.
Sure.
And then use Apocalypse for his own ends to conquer the world.
Right.
And then things go sideways. Apocalypse falls in love, quite literally gets his heart broken. His powers manifest. And then I want to say, if I remember correctly, I'm not going to swear to it, but his early powers, his original powers, were immortality and then size alteration.
Yeah.
And then he could just do stuff like, you know, super strength and speed and yada, yada, yada.
Well, he gets like a celestial body, right? At some point. Like, that's the one thing. Because I remember deep diving on this and being like, bro, I had no idea that Apocalypse essentially makes a deal with the Celestials. Like, there's a moment where like
that's covered.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. What's up?
No. I'm just curious about it. I vaguely remember it. Back then I was making videos about it, so I was like researching it. But I just remember like some people were like, yeah, well what's crazy is Apocalypse should know when the Celestials are going to come back. Because there's some kind of an agreement there. Or something happened where...
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's covered over a handful of different comics. I want to say Blood of Apocalypse is one of them. Another one is a Cable and Deadpool story. But basically, the between all these different comics, the way the narrative played out is that Apocalypse goes forward, travels the world, gets tribes to fight each other, yada, yada, yada. And then he comes across Cable, not knowing who Cable is. And Cable's trying to kill Apocalypse. And it's where the whole narrative becomes circular.
Right.
Right. Well, I'm sorry, but prior to that, Apocalypse discovers celestial technology. He doesn't know how to use it. He doesn't know how to integrate with it or anything. So he just leaves it. He eventually comes across Cable, not knowing who Cable is. Cable knows who Apocalypse is. Cable's trying to kill Apocalypse. A fight ensues. Apocalypse is left for dead. Cable's arm, I think his techno-organic arm, gets cut off. And then the techno-organic, that technology merges with Apocalypse. And then Apocalypse uses that celestial technology, or that techno-organic virus, to merge with celestial technology.
Oh, wow.
Eventually, Cable comes back. Yeah, eventually Cable comes back, and Apocalypse is like, it's because of you that I'm able to merge with celestial technology, and I become the person that you fear, the person that you fear. So in effect, Cable created Apocalypse.
He creates the god level Apocalypse, like celestial Apocalypse. Yeah.
He creates that version of Apocalypse. And so Apocalypse uses the techno-organic virus to communicate with celestial technology. And I want to say he speaks with Arishem, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But the quote-unquote deal that's made is he can use the celestial technology for some purpose. And I don't remember, he can use it however he wants to. I don't remember exactly how. I don't even think it was fully explained.
I think it was left ambiguous as to, like, part of the arrangement is left ambiguous.
Yes. Yeah. It's just one of those things where you can use it for, like, future payments later or something. I don't know. There's something weird and wonky. But basically, like, he can harness celestial technology. And that makes him the Apocalypse that we all know, where he can alter the atomic structure of his body and grow to any size, beyond what he was originally able to do, and all that crazy. Give himself, like, any superpower short of reality warping. So then he goes forward and does this whole survival of the fittest type thing. But the caveat back then was that his power was so extreme because of the celestial augmentation, it would burn through physical bodies. So we had to jump from one host's body to the next.
Sure.
And so by the time you get around to Nathan and Sinister engineering the creation of Nathan through, like, Madeline Pryor, so on and so forth, Apocalypse learns about all this and realizes how powerful Nathan is, and is like, Nathan is going to be my new host body. So Apocalypse sends his guys to kidnap Nathan, and then Apocalypse, using the celestial technology, infects Nathan with a techno-organic virus.
But then that leads to him finding him later and creating him, right? That's the circle.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's the circle. Yeah. So it's one of those weird things where it's kind of like, where like at what point do you jump on this crazy ass ride of the just time cross capers of Apocalypse and Cable? Right, like, where does it start?
Yeah.
Right, and it gets kind of crazy and kind of wonky. But yeah, that's why I say, like, these final episodes are okay. So here's a question for your audience, right? How familiar are you guys with Rachel Summers and her? Because Cable is one thing. Rachel Summers is a whole beast when it comes to, like, time travel shenanigans. Like, so do you guys know how Rachel becomes, like, Mother Ascani and all that kind of stuff? Because we know now, because of the way the show ends, that Bishop potentially took Cable to Days of Future Past, but most likely didn't. He likely just took him to the far-flung future, like to, like, the year 4000.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think a lot of peeps are familiar with the Ascani.
Okay, so the way this worked. I'm going to try to explain this as simple as possible, chat.
All right.
Stick with me, chaps.
Let's go.
Stick with me, guys. Right, like, yeah, it is one of those weird things. So the way this worked out is it all started because of Days of Future Past, right? That in Days of Future Past, Cyclops and Jean Grey, before they were sent to the camps and executed, they had Rachel Summers, right? And Rachel Summers inherited all the powers of her mom, right? Just crazy levels of telepathy and telekinesis. Rachel is raised in one of the many camps that exist out there to exterminate the mutant population. The idea, as most people know in Days of Future Past, is that Rachel Summers sent the mind of Kitty Pryde into the past to prevent the assassination from happening and prevent Days of Future Past from happening. Now, this makes a giant paradox. How does Kitty Pryde come from a future that technically doesn't exist anymore?
Sure.
And so Marvel solved that question by saying that Days of Future Past was the guaranteed future. But when the assassination was prevented, now it became an alternate reality. No different from any of the what-if stories that you've ever seen out there in Marvel Studios or Marvel Comics. And so for Rachel, she believed that the future had been averted. And so she didn't understand why nothing had changed. And so what ends up happening is Rachel ends up traveling back to the present day in the story called The Days of Future Present to understand what went wrong. And that's where it was explained to her, no, you were in an alternate reality. But you're not like this, the future's been averted. But now you're just in an alternate universe out there. So she's like, oh, okay, cool. I guess that makes sense. So she just hangs out in the present day. She's like, I mean, I don't want to go back there. So she just like hangs out in the present day for a while. She eventually joins Excalibur, right? The British superhero team, which is basically Britain's Avengers. Yeah. You know, I'm sure Paul over at Heavy Spoilers is going to be a little pissy that I'm calling it that, right? Like, we take pride in our superhero team in Britain.
Hey, that's not a bad accent.
Heavy Spoilers.
Not bad, not bad.
Dude, I love Paul to death, man.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude for sure.
But Paul's hilarious. But yeah, she hangs out here, and then eventually she becomes a host of the Phoenix Force, fights Galactus, yada yada yada. But with the Phoenix Force, she goes back to the Days of Future Past and like fixes the timeline. And then like some time travel shenanigans ensue. And she basically has to swap places with Captain Britain from Excalibur, who's like stuck at the end of time. And then some more time travel shenanigans ensue. And she's like stuck in the 37th century. Okay. Right. Like, and then she adopts the name Mother Ascani and forms the Ascani clan.
Right. And that's so, her. That's basically the version that we probably see at the end of the show.
That's the version you see at the end of the show. Okay. And so the way it played out was when Apocalypse originally infected Nathan with the techno-organic virus, that when he was a baby, that Rachel shows up from the future to the present day and tells like Cyclops and everybody, like, if you keep him here, he will die. And I don't know for sure that we can cure him in the year 4000, essentially, 3600, whatever. But I know that we stand a better chance doing it there than you do here. And so she grabs Nathan and takes Nathan into the future. And then the minds of Cyclops and Jean are taken from the present and put into the bodies of just two random people out there. And they're given the names Red and Slim. And that's why at the end of this episode, the end of the finale, Cyclops and Jean are in the future. It's basically a callback to what happened in the comic.
Interesting.
And so they raise Nathan, and on the off chance that they cannot cure Cable, they clone him. Apocalypse, who rules that future, accidentally kidnaps the clone, thinking it's the original, raises the clone as his own. Yeah. The clone becomes Strife. Yeah.
Okay,
so
let me ask you a question. Like this might be out of left field, but what universe is X-Man from? When Nathan grows up without the techno?
He's from Age of Apocalypse.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Age of Apocalypse. He was actually engineered. Right. Okay. So unlike Cable, who was born from Madeline and Cyclops, and unlike Strife, who's a clone of Cable, X-Man was created by Mr. Sinister using the genes of Cyclops and Jean Grey. And he was meticulously engineered to make him as powerful as feasibly possible.
Yeah, because he's like a god,
Mr.
right?
Troll, he's mutant Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's mutant Jesus. They had this more recent story that was trash, where like he rewrites reality or something stupid like that, but he shows up looking. I was like, dude, this story is garbage.
Really?
Like, I read like the first couple of issues. Yeah, I read the first couple of issues, and I was like, this is trash. And like, I threw it away. I was like, I'm not reading this.
Right on.
Writing garbage ass stories like that.
Yo, that's interesting though, because I like that character just in concept. I don't know if I've even really read a lot of stuff with him, to be honest, but like I've seen him pop up here and there, and I was like, damn, that's really interesting. So I always would like him to be in there. I think that would be cool.
Dude, go read the original X-Men comics. Like X-Men #1 picks up like immediately after, like literally Age of Apocalypse ends,
and then he
just like appears on
nice.
And then it goes straight into X-Men. Yeah, it goes straight into X-Men.
It's literally called X-Men, the run.
X-Men, yeah.
Oh shit! Maybe that is what I read. I gotta go back and check that out though, for sure.
Yeah, Nate Gray, dude, he was a hoss, man. Like he was ridiculously overpowered.
Yeah.
Much so that like his body burned out and like he just becomes pure energy.
Yeah. That makes sense, dude. What was it in? Didn't Cable fight the Silver Surfer while levitating a city? What run was that in?
That one I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember
that.
I know
there was an extension where like he crushed the Avengers, like he just dismantled the Avengers completely. But that was the lead up to Avengers versus X-Men.
I remember a thing where he was literally levitating a city and fighting the Silver Surfer at once, but I don't remember where I read it. Let me see if I can figure that out.
That I don't doubt. I mean, there's so few stories. That's why they're so cool when they happen. There's so few stories where you see Cable just like going balls out, right, in a fight, because like the instant he's not using his powers to keep the techno-organic virus from consuming his body, that shit just starts eating him alive.
Right.
Right. So yeah.
Exactly.
It's,
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Let me see if
Yeah.
we'll see if I can find that out. But yeah, no, man, I'm super excited. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun apocalypse stuff, obviously happening next season. I'm excited to see how it's layered together.
Yeah.
Like you said, I mean, at least we have Bo's writing on that one, so it should be on point. And then hopefully they bring him back, or they figure out a way to keep the legacy going, because that would be awesome.
Yeah. That's why I say, man, like I'm loving that they're doing this, because the whole second season is really going to show just how dangerous Apocalypse is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm excited.
Like, it's just gonna
Apparently
show how dangerous he is.
it was Cable and Deadpool 11 and 12 where he's fighting. He's trying to build a utopia. He's trying to build a utopian society on an island of Providence, and he encounters the Silver Surfer, who's acting on trying to actually.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because Cable's power was so immense that
Providence.
Galactus rolls up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, man. Like it's yeah, I am. Hold on. You said his power is so immense that like the Silver Surfer and Galactus show up?
Yeah, it says the Surfer, acting on behalf of the cosmic entity Galactus, perceives Cable's immense power as a potential threat to the balance of the universe. Yeah.
Bro, yeah, I need to read that.
And Cable
I mean,
and
technically it's true. Technically it's true.
Yeah, he's God level.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the virus, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Fascinating, man. Well, dude, that was an awesome chat again. I appreciate you coming on, man. Dude, we got to try to get you, me, and Paul on a combo sometime. I think that'd be really fun.
Welcome to the Heavy Spoiler Show. My name's Paul. I'm British.
Well, now he's never going to do it. Thanks a lot. Now that you've given that impression, he's never going to do it.
Dude, I would love to be on an episode with you, me and Paul. That would
that'd be fun. That'd be fun for sure, brother.
Yeah, I'm 100% down. Yeah, Den of Rob. Yeah, the Den of Rob spoilers. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect, man.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah. All right, man. Yeah, I'll let you get back to it.
All right, brother. Thanks, man. Thanks for the call. Appreciate you. Enjoy your coffee and enjoy your day.
Yeah, man. I'll catch you later.
All right, take care. Hey, there we go, guys. Nice little chat with Rob. Always love it when Rob gets on the show, dropping knowledge, teaching us things. Super cool. That was fun. That was a fun one. Let me see. I'm going to catch up on a couple of chats here, and then we'll keep going. I kind of want to watch still. We could watch Paul's breakdown of the finale, if you guys are down. I'm trying to think. There was like that Star Wars stuff. We don't really got to go there, though. We don't really got to talk about it. Maybe we just kind of keep it chill. And there's some other stuff, too, that I think we wanted to go over, right? Like a couple of trailers. Maybe we could watch House of the Dragon. Maybe we could watch the HBO, John. I don't really know. What do you guys think? Captain's got to teach stuff. The finale was titties. Yeah, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Incredible. Assassin's Creed trailer? What the hell? Wait, it's in feudal Japan? Ooh, that actually kind of seems cool. Okay, let me see if I can get over here. Dar Boyd, thanks for the 5-man. Congrats on the new kid. X-Men finale was sick. No Avengers for life. Oh, hell yeah. OC Steve says, onset of rage caused by heat exhaustion. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. 100% that's what it was. Haviz says, yo, can we watch the Hot D trailer breakdown later? Hype! Yeah, no, we can watch that. I'm down. Rossi says, if you can afford a personal trainer, that's the way to go. They can hold you accountable and make sure you don't get injured. Maybe you're right. I don't know. Personal trainer, I don't know. You're probably right. I think maybe I'm just a little bit stubborn because I kind of just want to do it my way. But then again, if my way keeps getting me hurt, maybe that's not the way to go. So maybe you're onto something, brother. Leon says, go watch Assassin's Creed Shadows. Nerd Vengeance for life. Let me see here. Assassin's Creed Shadows, huh? Assassin's Creed. Is this, Ubisoft axes the Division Heartland? What the hell? Assassin's Creed, huh? Ooh, it does look kind of cool. I only see like a 30-second thing though. Is that what you're talking about? Oh, 3-minute, John. Look, man, I think this looks cool. I don't know if I want to watch this trailer, though, just to be completely honest with you, because, like, we're not really a gaming channel, and unfortunately, I'm not going to go pro in gaming. And that's your fault, too. How many of you guys really want to watch this trailer? Are we just going to ignore that Josh has a secret porn studio that Rob accidentally heard? Yeah, and it's apparently very monotone and very balanced, like a nice steady clapping. Yeah, I mean, I think a little bit more of like watching the shows and the trailers for the other thing is a little bit more of our thing. I don't know. Should I put it to a poll? It's only 3 minutes. It's probably not that big of a deal. Should we watch it? Here, I'll put it on a poll. Should we watch the Assassin's Creed trailer? Okay, let me catch up on these while you guys are voting. Mike Snow says, finally growing with the audience is going to really bring us great stories. So hyped for Marvel future again. Nerd Vengeance for life. Appreciate you, brother. Aaliyah says, with normies, what if charted on the Nielsen chart? Original, I believe. Perhaps not also overall. So the key might be daily or binge release versus weekly. Yeah, I think that's probably true. I think it might also have to do with what's the competition. What else is out there? I don't think there was too much going on when around the holidays when What If was doing its thing. So it could also just be other things that are there, you know? Uh-oh. It's neck and neck. 56%. Who wants to watch that shit? Yeah, I just think it's a little out of left field. If we were a gaming channel, for sure. If we were a samurai channel, for sure. But, yeah, I don't think so, man. We probably won't. Dano says with a 10 spot, really appreciate it, man. It says, personal theory. For the group in the past, could they replace the role of F4, overthrow Ramatut, and incidentally jumpstart Apocalypse's rise to power? Thoughts, boys? I like the thought, man. I wish I had seen that when Rob was on. Apologies on that. Yeah, I like it. They could definitely be doing that. You know, it's also possible that the Fantastic Four show up and they are there. Like, there's all sorts of stuff, all sorts of ways they could be going with this. But it does kind of seem like they have Apocalypse's future, right? That's what you see with Rachel Summers. You have Apocalypse's past. That's him as Insaba Nur. Then you have the present day, which technically might show Apocalypse from the way future past the Nexus in time coming back to the present. So, like, there's a really layered thing they could be doing with Apocalypse next season. Unfortunately, the votes say no. So we will not be watching that. But let's watch Paul's breakdown of X-Men 97's finale. Holy shit, dude, his breakdown's crushing it right now. Doing really good. That's great.
This video is sponsored by Doomlings.
Doomlings?
Spoiler show. I'm your host, Paul, and this video we're breaking down X-Men 97. The episode 10 finale is now here, and it's packed with Easter eggs, hidden details, and a lot of things for the future. The series has come back with a bang, and in this video, we're gonna break it all down. Bo DeMayo has also finished season 2, and you can see the seeds being set for what's about to come. I will of course talk about that all later on, but we're gonna start at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
Last week ended with Magneto tearing out the adamantium from Wolverine's body, which was ripped right out of the pages of X-Men 25.
Crazy.
That was part of the Fatal Attractions event, and it eventually led into Onslaught being created.
Yup.
Back on Earth, Bastion was beating the heroes with Cable.
Which, I mean, come on, man. Onslaught is absolutely coming, right? Like, you could definitely feel with the whole Xavier Magneto thing inside the mind. Yeah, I think it's coming still. Next season.
Being turned against Jean, who his mother was of course cloned from. It all kicked off, and that takes us into the amazing title sequence. Don't skip it, don't skip it! Now we do get an added shot in the intro with Magneto and Charles working together. This comes from their time together as friends in the original series, which explored their backstory. That was the episode Enter Magneto, which we see this scene pulling from. This is picked up immediately in the opening of the entry, in which we seemingly see them in Vietnam discussing mutants. Both have opposing views, with Professor X believing they'll be accepted, whereas Magneto clearly believes that it's going to be best to hide. However, the pair reveal the truth to each other, and there's lots of real-world metaphors here, with the idea of prejudice being the main talking point. We then have it revealed that Xavier's inside the character's mind, and this is basically a psychic trip down memory lane. It's kind of like a Dickensian journey, with Xavier stating that if Magneto doesn't restore Earth's power, that he'll force him to do it. Magneto says doing so will shatter both their minds, and this is clearly setting up things with Onslaught.
Yeah, 100%. I will also just add that as I've been watching Legion, and a lot of the show takes place in either like the astral plane or within somebody's mind, it was really interesting to see this show taking that same approach. And these scenes are like really, really great. The choppy waters outside the house, this really like enclosed feeling. I love the ability to have true character moments and have the environment around it become sort of surreal, but in a way that matches up thematically with what the characters are experiencing. So that allows you to actually take it to another level, as opposed to the characters just sitting in a room talking to each other. You can play with the environment and really like build up some like outside stuff that just enhances what is already happening. It's super fun.
Xavier does a big psychic blast that restores power though, but this is clearly laying the groundwork for what's to come. Although the adamantium being torn out of Wolverine's skeleton happened in X-Men 25, Onslaught wouldn't show up until many years later. He first arrived in X-Men 53, almost 2 years after that Fatal Attraction arc. Onslaught was born out of a blast performed by Professor X, in which he absorbed all the pain and misery from Magneto's mind. In Xavier's subconscious, this evil persona lay dormant until it built itself up and then broke forth. It was spurred on by the shaky grounds between humanity and the mutants.
And we see that evil persona of Charles in the old show. Do you remember when the evil Charles, like his evil side, comes out? Do you remember that?
Really started to worry Xavier. One of the most overpowered characters in the Marvel Universe, he's a fusion of both Magneto and Xavier. A powerful psychic entity, he wanted to bring all the planet together into one combined consciousness. Operating as a hive mind, there would be no more hate and anger against mutants, and also vice versa. I think this would be a big thing for Season 2, and with that already being written, I can't wait to see where they go with it. This is one of the only characters capable of going toe-to-toe with Apocalypse, which we'll talk more about at the end of the breakdown.
No. He's... Onslaught is a character that could shit kick Apocalypse. Apocalypse is one of the only characters that can help to stand up against Onslaught. As far as I understand it, Onslaught is way stronger than Apocalypse.
We'll also talk about Mother Ascani later on, aka Rachel Summers, but they are going in a pretty interesting direction with it. That blast, though, is seen across the planet, with us once more witnessing Silver Samurai.
Dude, I love these cameos, man. It was so fun watching how the world reacts to this.
I believe that he will be a Season 2 villain as well. We have Doctor Doom and Zemo out there as well, but I think they might in fact be used in other shows. Spider-Man was confirmed as being from the Fox cartoon universe, and I'd love to see us getting other things from those series.
True.
As of making this video, we haven't had any announcements about stuff like Spider-Man 98, but I feel like the success here, it might well lead to that.
Yeah.
We also have the Fantastic Four out there, Iron Man, there was a Hulk cartoon as well.
Silver
and
Surfer,
lots
yeah.
of characters that they can pick up within the future. Obviously, when you're teasing Captain America and Iron Man in this 90s costume, you're clearly leaning into those things coming down the line.
Yeah.
The cameos at this point are absolutely
Dude,
insane.
the Daredevil shit was so good.
And with us also getting Daredevil out in Hell's Kitchen. Next, we cut to Doctor Strange, who's working in the operating theater at Manhattan Memorial Hospital. Due to the power being out, he's having to operate with magic, and we can also see candles around the body. Kind of feels like it's the end of the world. And that takes us into today's sponsor, Shabao. Now, if you want to win at the end of the world, then you need to check out our sponsors, Doomlings. Question: do you like Monopoly, but do you want to keep your family together? Congratulations! Doomlings is the game for you.
Okay.
Doomlings is a lighthearted, brilliant card game that focuses on having fun with our last days together. The game is actually super simple to pick up, with it having an easy setup like Uno. The rules themselves are written on the card as well, so you can learn as you go and pick it up instantly. I describe it as like a cross between Uno and Pokemon, and it's been the best part of my game night. Started on Kickstarter, the game's taking the world by storm, with it now being stocked in big stores like Target. Now the objective is to score the most points at the end of the world. You score points by playing trait cards over rounds called ages. Each card introduces a new rule, such as no green cards in this round. This means that no round's the same. No, scratch that. No game's the same. A catastrophe card.
Hang on a second. I got to read this. Rossi, for the $20 holla, that's very generous. And also, guys, you got to remind me. I got to do this super cool thing after we watch this video. I should have did it beforehand. Damn it. Okay, Rossi says, I fell 26 feet out of a tree in 2001. Holy shit. My right leg is completely reconstructed. I had to get a personal trainer to prevent injury and for my safety. My trainer also didn't get paid if I did go. It made me accountable. Give it a shot. Oh, I see. So even if you didn't go, you had to pay for the trainer? That's kind of interesting. Well, I appreciate the 20. I'm sorry that happened to you. But I'm still way too stubborn. But maybe I'll think about it now. Appreciate you, brother. Oh, John Sparks says Doomlings is fun. That's cool. I've not tried it.
Then unleashes adverse effects, and after the third one, the game and the world ends. Yay! AI takeover. Cool. Solar flare. Thank you. At the end, players tally up their scores, and yeah, it just keeps you on your toes. Also love these holographic cards you get, and the artwork looks awesome across the board.
Yeah, good
It's also
artwork.
for 2 to 6 players, with games lasting roughly 20 to 45 minutes. It's fast, fun, and unforgettable, and it's what I'd be playing if this was my last day on Earth. So guess what, mate? I love you, so I'm giving you 15% off. All you have to do to get this game with a discount is click my link in the description or scan the QR code on screen right now. Then use the code SPOILERS15 and you're going to get that 15% off. Scan the QR code or use the link in the description and the code SPOILERS15 and you're going to get 15% off. Huge thank you to Doomlings for sponsoring the video.
Cool.
And yeah, definitely go check them out, as I think you're going to love it. Thanks. Now in the lead up to this episode, Bo DeMayo said the entry to watch his homework was the final decision. That just so happened to be the finale of X-Men Season 1, and it had the battle against Master Mold. It also had a line that we dropped last week, showing where things were gonna go.
The brave are always the first to die.
The brave always die first.
Oh,
shit! We started with Magneto kidnapping Senator Kelly, who at that point was an anti-mutant advocate. He wanted to force Kelly's hand in making humanity accept them, but things were broken up by the Sentinels. Taken before Master Mold, Kelly was told that his brain was going to be replaced by a machine. This is something that Mold planned to do on all the world leaders, and he would mold the Masters into servants of his own. This is of course similar to what Bastion's doing with his Prime Sentinel program, making them his slaves. Bastion is a fusion between the mind of Master Mold and Nimrod, who was then born into human form. So it makes sense he'd follow this path, with his deep-rooted mutant hate being part of his program. However, this will always inevitably extend to the Sentinels having to wipe out humans, which was explained by Master Mold.
You were designed to protect humans from mutants.
That is not logical. Mutants are human.
This always tends to get more focus in stuff like Days of Future Past, where we learn that
Mutants are humans. What? No! Fuck! What about all of my bigotry? No!
that humanity will always inevitably lead to evolution in mutants, and thus every single human gets attacked because of it. Does that make sense? Trask was involved alongside Garrick, so yeah, that's why they brought them back for this series. Final Decision also had Sentinels launching out and flying the skies against the Blackbird, which is of course something that went down last time. Anyway, it was the X-Men who saved Kelly in the end, with Magneto lending a hand. We ended with Kelly announcing his presidential run and then saying the mutants were humans, so they shouldn't be persecuted. We also had Scott proposing to Jean, who said that if they had children, they'd be persecuted as mutants. We closed out with Sinister spying on them, and that kind of set up everything in this series. Now this all sort of plays into Kelly's actions, which leads into the Magneto protocols that has him blowing up Asteroid M. You can really see why he's scared of Magneto, and he views him as an extremist, much in the same way that Bastion is too. They're both kind of opposite sides of the same coin, and going back to Earth, we see Bastion's mutated himself and is now more machine than man. He talks about the urges inside him, and this links into the programming that was within Nimrod. That eventually led to him having a deep-rooted hatred for mutant kind. Sending his Sentinels out, we see them swarming the world, and once more get Cap and Iron Man, but beyond that, Wakanda. T'Chaka is here, and he's in the throne room with his classic 90s look. He is, of course, the father of T'Challa, and...
Yeah, so I saw some people on Twitter, and some people were a little irritated that it's T'Chaka, but to me it just makes sense with the timing. If they're trying to stick to that, like, you know, 90s aesthetic, and they're trying to kind of balance it with the MCU, I think it kind of makes sense that T'Chaka is the Black Panther. But I also understand that, like, people want T'Challa back, and, like, the video games is going to be T'Chaka. It's T'Chaka in this show. It's like, it does kind of feel like Marvel's a little bit allergic to T'Challa. So, yeah.
All over this being when the time's set that he's the one who's the Black Panther. The cape is back, mate, which I absolutely loved, and I kind of always wish they brought this into the MCU.
Also, in the old Fantastic Four show, I believe it was T'Chaka. T'Chaka? It was T'Chaka. It was T'Chaka in the old T'Chaka?
Capes are cool, mate, look, but they always kind of steered clear from using them. The Dora Milaje are at his side, and they put up a strong fight against the Prime Sentinels. Unfortunately, Daredevil gets knocked back, but he is joined by Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
They too had their own show recently, with Marvel really beginning to push them. Injected with synthetic drugs, they gained light and dark force control.
Bro, the actual comic for Cloak and Dagger was brutal. They're fucking murdering people and shit. Like, they had a dark beginning, bro.
Is capable of teleportation through the dark force, which is something that the Spot studied. He tried to replicate his powers, which is how the Spot eventually got those abilities. Dagger creates, well, daggers imbued with light, and she can also heal people. We then see Psylocke along with North Star, and
hell yeah! And wait! Come on, man. Weren't some of y'all complaining about the cake? Well, I guess my screen's a little bit in the way here. Hey, let me show you something. For science.
Mental with the cameos, mate. Slow down. So this is just a little edit insert. I've seen the character there, the guy with the mustache, and I totally forgot who he was. I'm gonna be honest, and I was sat there, and I was about 40 minutes into writing the script, and then out of nowhere, Puck. He's called Puck. Yeah. So we're putting that in. He's called Puck. This is out in Genosha, which we can tell by the destroyed statue head. Okay. It's clearly a worldwide event, with us also getting attacks out in Russia. That's where we see what...
Bro, can you imagine a podcast with me, Rob, and Paul? We could call it the Super Friends or some shit, and do a little podcast together. You know what I mean? What do you think? What do you think, chat? Little podcast?
I believe is Polestar, along with Omega Red, who I also think will be a Season 2 villain. I thought they might just leave his freedom.
It could be. I also think this could be the Crimson Dynamo, though.
It's a cliffhanger, but here we see that he's back with his allies. One of the most dangerous mutants on the planet, he's capable of emitting a death factor pheromone that can kill people within a matter of seconds. Dang. He can also absorb the life force of people and use this as a way to power the death factor up. In this universe, he's been used to power a power plant, and yeah, I think he's going to be a big force in trying to take out humanity. Now, Operation Zero Tolerance's ultimate goal was to wipe out the mutants, but I feel like they've stepped it up a notch here with it wiping out humanity. That seemed to be what Bastion
Oh, you think it's the Red Power Ranger? Yeah, that could be true. That could be true as well.
Was doing under the guise of improving the world. We did see a future world in which the mutants were enslaved with a Prime Sentinel ruling over all. However, they're still enslaved by Bastion and can be activated at any point. In Operation Zero Tolerance, it is slightly similar to the comics, but they have changed things up. In that, Gyrick signed off firing on American citizens on American soil. Graydon Creed, aka Sabretooth's father, he was also assassinated in a false flag attack. This was used to justify the Prime Sentinels, and Bastion also discovered something known as the Xavier Files. These were basically like the ones Batman had on the Justice League, where they showed a way to kill the X-Men if they ever went rogue.
Oh,
like
dude.
rogue.
Yeah.
Not rogue. And
Yeah, that whole thing was crazy. And if you've never watched that, I think it's called Justice League Doom. So good, dude. Dwayne McDuffie, super underrated writer. Great movie.
Anyway, it was kind of an Iceman story more than anything, but they definitely have taken things in a brand new direction. Anyway, Bastion torments Cable, and we learn that he made 200 attempts to save Madeline.
Damn.
He says that both Jean and Madeline ended up dead, but we do get the Phoenix rising from the water. This is similar to X2, which also caused her powers to activate. The Phoenix has, of course, been teased throughout the intros, and it was so good seeing her back.
Oh my god, the animation was brilliant, dude. She looked incredible.
Bastion goes to kill Cable, but Sinister says he needs him. In case you haven't kept up to date with our videos, which why haven't you? The techno-organic virus is the weapon that Sinister was planning to use to kill Apocalypse. This has weakened him before, and this is why he cloned Jean in the first place. He was obsessed with the Summers family and felt their child could be the one thing that could kill Apocalypse through the use of the virus. Anyway, the Phoenix wipes out the Sentinels across the planet, and she strips Sinister of the DNA that's keeping him together.
Oh my god, that shit was so brutal, the way she got Sinister, man.
This instantly ages him and takes him from the bloody...
Now you're fucking ugly, Sinister. Now you an ugly motherfucker.
bloody handsome guy he was to Mr. Burns. He runs off after looking at a mirror image of himself in Morph, which has some poetry to it.
That's funny.
Morph was who Sinister captured,
True.
and he enslaved the character. Bastion too rises from the ashes and rips off Cable's arm. Now we sort of have two sides to this thing, with both of these characters taking different approaches to humanity. Cable tried to save his mother, and even though he couldn't, he still found one in Jean.
Yep.
He did whatever he could, though, and ultimately didn't want her death to be on his hands. On the opposite side of this, Bastion's lost his humanity, and he used his own mother in the Prime Sentinel program.
Yep.
Now, having his mother like this is also something that Bo DeMayo touched upon on Twitter. Posting an emoji. It's not an emoji, is it, mate? I don't know. It's one of them faces. But anyway, he posted this next to a picture of Norman Bates. Bates' mother was, of course, a major part of the movie Psycho, with her corpse being kept in their family home. Norman had a split personality with the other side of it, reflecting his control and overbearing mother. Going to his final form, Bastion wants to basically Ultron us and throw...
Dude, I love this look. He looks like Archangel. It's like the techno-organic virus and the phalanx combined with Bastion. Such a cool idea.
Asteroid M into the Earth to wipe us out. Akin to how the dinosaurs died, this will be an extinction-level event that finally kills us all. Yay! Now back with Magneto and Xavier, we see the pair are still locked together psychically while Wolverine heals up. In the comics, we learn that Wolverine kept his claws and that these were revealed to be bone. Up until this point, they just thought to be adamantium that was added to his skeleton.
Damn, look at that, man. That's a feral Wolverine if I've ever seen one. Holy shit.
But this revealed that that wasn't the case. Now, though Deadpool and Wolverine is the next project coming down the line, unfortunately, we don't do anything that sets that up. Well, I say unfortunately, it stands fine on its own, yeah? Not everything needs to be tied in, mate. I'll make that clear. Now, I kind of hope that's actually a lesson that Feige and Marvel take from this, and we can have stories off doing their own things. Anyway, total tangent there, but this was deliberately
Yeah, that tangent just ruined my video watching experience, Paul.
kept separate, which we now know due to DeMayo confirming it on Twitter. He said he'd been told Deadpool was off limits, and thus we know they wanted to keep it all separate. I do wonder if we will perhaps touch upon the larger X-Men multiverse there, as we have seen a lot of different versions. There's probably a version connected to Xavier and Multiverse of Madness, the ones at the end of the Marvels, these, The ones in Deadpool and Wolverine, and on top of that, the Fox ones, which we won't even get into because it's very convoluted. If you add Logan in as being its own universe along with First Class and so on, you've got a bloody lot, mate. Anyway, that's why they didn't really want to touch upon Deadpool, even though he did feature in the original series.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, though everyone thinks they should take out Magneto, Professor X wants to save him. This likely calls back to what he did in the episode The Final Decision. In that, Professor X was going to fly the Blackbird into Master Mold to destroy him. It was loaded with explosives and pretty much a one-way ticket, but Magneto helped him get out. So you can see why he'd do this, and the divide between the group is healed, with Rogue saying the cards are in their favor. Obviously, pick those puns up from her lover Gambit, with the two saying to Bastion, remember it.
True.
This, of course, calls back to episode 5, and I just seen last night that it's been put forth for Emmy contention.
Yep.
Deserves it as well, mate, as it was an incredible episode. A Rogue takes him to the blue side of the moon, which is a location that's featured in a lot of Marvel comics. It's an oxygen-rich environment, which...
You know what's funny, man? I was watching, and I kept waiting. I was like, wouldn't it be amazing if the Inhumans popped out and, like, Black Bolt did something to, like, save the day? I was like, dude, that would be so funny because Rob would lose his shit. And then, like, as the episode went on and they did nothing, I was like, damn, Rob is fucking right. These Inhumans are useless.
Several civilizations have lived. Created by the Skrulls, it more recently became the home of the Watcher's Citadel and played a big part in the comic Original Sin. This is why all the monuments are there, and it's a great place to have a fight go down. Joined by Sunspot, we cut to Times Square, which is also one of the locales that we started the season off at. There's WHIH News, which is the main news station in the Marvel Universe. Urged on by his counsel, we see the only people trying to talk him down are T'Chaka and Steve Rogers. In a file on Magneto, we also see the name of his children being Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Ooh.
It also says that he's widowed, with this being Magda. The kids, of course, are Pietro and Wanda, with them being
And they're off-world. What do you think that means?
shown in shadow on the boat in the Vision. Magneto has lost so much, and we really see the pain in him as he thinks about his mother and father. It's such an incredible way to take the character.
It was emotional,
and it's
for
balanced
sure.
perfectly by the battle happening with Bastion. Everyone goes all out defending the asteroid, and though we do get the stereotypical beam versus beam thing, it is Cyclops' special from Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, he literally does the X. I pointed that out to Elisa. Right before he does this crazy blast, he actually does the X. And a little known fact is in Marvel vs. Capcom, every X-Men does that before their special. Every single one makes the X before their special.
So I'm gonna let him off. Thrown into the
He didn't
Sentinel
show
throne.
it. Come on, Paul. Hey, Paul, what do you mean? Come on, man. What do you mean? You didn't put that in there to show the X thing that he did. He did the X thing, bro. What are you doing?
Symbolically represents where Bastion came from and the monster he created. Even the good will eventually bring this down, which is highlighted in the
Breakdown ruined.
rest of the team's arrival in one. This Trojan horse shows how his ideals will always be destroyed by the good that dismantle them from the inside. That's sort of what I felt with Val Cooper, and though she sided with him, she eventually turned against him.
Lots of people miss that, I feel. It doesn't matter. Paul shouldn't have. Paul's not lots of people. Okay? This is the people's champ of breakdowns, so we can't let him off that easy.
Bit of a reach here, but I love how there's this deeper layer to it. Cyclops decides to stop fighting the future, and he instead informs him that Xavier tried to look after Bastion, but it was his mother who stopped this. Crippled under the weight of a Sentinel, it shows that hatred and destruction will always weigh you down. Still though, the X-Men want to support him, even if humanity won't support them. Now if you want to support the channel, then definitely check out our merch store right below the video. There we've got our X-Men 97 inspired shirt from our favourite moment in episode 1. That's going into the vault very, very shortly, so this is your last chance to pick it up. We also have our It's All Connected
What Polaris Easter egg and cameo? What you talking about, bruh?
shirts, new time ones, and ones for upcoming shows like House of the Dragon and the Boys. So yeah, loads of stuff on there, and huge thank you to everyone who's picked one up. Shabow. Anyway, as the asteroid comes crashing down, we get Morph turn into Reed Richards. Nice little tease at the show from the 90s, and I'd love to see a revival of that as well. Cyclops says he'll stay behind while they go to the jet, and
on the boat. Okay, yeah, I didn't see that.
this is akin to how Gambit stayed behind on Asteroid M. That was during Sanctuary, and he survived there, which kind of teases what we'll talk about in just a bit. Now, Force ghosting themselves to Nathan.
Oh my god, this scene hit, man. Maybe it's just because, like, I'm kind of a new dad, right? But this shit hit. Saying goodbye, telling his son that he loves him. Damn.
backed up the people in the future who talked about the X-Men. It foreshadows what's to come, but it created the legends that helped to inspire him. Talking about how Nathan has his eyes, I felt like my eyes were hurting, mate, because there was a bit too much dust in the room.
It was
and
emotional,
it was
for sure.
Making it look like I was crying. No, they do band together to stop the asteroid, and we see the UN and also confirms something massive. Cutting to Peter Parker and Mary Jane watching the news, this confirms something big from his series. Turns out Peter indeed found MJ, which been waiting like 30 years for that.
I know. It is kind of wild because they just kind of like throw it in there. I would love to have that developed. I still wouldn't mind, like, if they end up doing Spider-Man 98 or whatever, I wouldn't mind them showing us the multiversal story of how he gets her back. Or maybe they just showed like, just picking back up from there, and maybe there's some dark secret about how he got her back or something that could be explored. But, yeah, it is kind of crazy. Like, they give us the answer, and they don't explain shit.
Mate, 30 years, and now we know for good. Morph then transforms into Jean to tell Wolverine something to spur him on, and yeah, it's an amazing moment in the season.
Yeah, it was really good.
Even just Nightcrawler praying, it's all just great, and yeah, I think this is my favorite Disney Plus show. Just
definitely.
On a character and action level, it's something special.
Yeah,
Might be recency bias, but seeing Magneto and Xavier's friendship reunited in a vision of the bar they first revealed themselves in, it just all comes together perfectly.
Hell
Waking Magneto up, he restabilizes the asteroid, but in doing this, it scatters them.
Which, again, not to be that guy, but wait, let me just real quick here. Just real quick, guys. I don't really ask for a lot, but if you guys want to go like this tweet and shit on Invincible a little bit, like, the Invincible account shared this a while back. This was on my Clips channel. Okay? This has over 1 million views, over 50K likes, where they tried to make me look silly for posting this. So head on over to my Twitter, give it a little love, maybe harass Invincible and tell their social media manager to punch himself in the... I mean, no, don't do that. I'm just kidding. Don't do that shit. But still, I'm the best. I was right. Everybody sucks. Here we go.
Across time. We get an 8-bit display saying there's no signal and pick up 6 months after E-Day. On a news report, we hear mention of Graydon Creed, with that being whose death kickstarted OZT in the comics. On a bulletin, we then see the status of the X-Men and learn several of their fates. The main crew are presumed dead, but Scarlet Witch is off-world along with her brother. Cable has gone AWOL, and though I couldn't read what it says for Archangel, I believe it says missing presumed dead, due to the layout being the same as the other ones that say that.
Yeah.
Might be coming back as one of Apocalypse's horsemen, which we will talk about more in just a bit. A Jubilee and Sunspot are AWOL too. Colossus and his sister Magic are fine. Dust is fine. Iceman is cool. Havoc's
Iceman is cool. Good one. Yeah, what the hell is off-world mean?
great. Exodus, Shadowcat, and Emma Frost, they're all gravy as well. Who is taking the heat, though?
Oh, dude. This shot, Evangelion, Neo Genesis, I mean, it's literally right out of Evangelion. Like, dude, the deep cuts in this show, holy shit.
Is President Kelly, with Magneto being modded. At this point, Bishop walks in with a haircut and talks about how he and Forge will be friends one day. Standing in front of a containment device, this would later show up in Time Fugitives when Bishop kept changing the timeline to alter things. He and Forge become great allies, and the latter is who creates his time travel devices. Now the ending scene culminates with the gang being scattered across time. I'm just going to talk about them together as they kind of point to something similar. They're not in Kansas, and we see as Cyclops and Jean come across Mother Ascani. Eagle-eyed viewers and comic readers may recognize that Ascani is actually Rachel Summers. Rachel was seen briefly in a vision of Bastion's future where mutants were enslaved to build a perfect world.
Interesting.
The one where you click the like and subscribe button, mate. Now, she is the daughter of Jean and Cyclops from the Days of Future Past storyline. It's the dark future where Robert Kelly was assassinated, leading to a mutant holocaust. However, with the help of Kitty Pryde, she managed to avert this future and bring herself in the main timeline. The timey-wimey wibbly-wobbly stuff will continue later as she aimed to help Captain Britain and was then split into alternate beings, with one ending up at the end of time. As we see in the show, she's in an apocalyptic world, and
Rob
this is
just
after
explained
Apocalypse
this to us.
has taken control of it. She would form the Clan Ascani, which can be translated a clan of outsiders. They aim to take out Apocalypse and have the spirit and ideals of the X-Men from the past. In the comics, she looked after Nathan in the future because she believed the techno-organic virus would help him be the savior of their time. Apocalypse would end up cloning him and create Strife to use as a means for his resurrection.
Look at how badass Strife looks, man.
In the comics, The Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix, Mother Ascani brought her parents to the future to help raise the other Nathan. We do see Nathan in the future, and in the comics, he along with his parents went on to defeat Apocalypse. So it seems like we will be seeing a battle not only in the past and future, but also in the present. That takes us into the post-credit scene, which happens in the present, and we see Apocalypse going to Genosha. There he digs out Gambit's Queen of Heart cards, which is the thing that he had for Rogue. We have said for a while now that we think Gambit will be brought back as his Horseman Death, which was a theory time first brought up by Rob from Comics Explained, but I'm claiming it as my theory time because I've been saying it for 7 weeks because I stole it from him. The creative team said that they wanted his death to mean something and shut down a lot of the time travel rumors about the character that we theorized with Cable. However, there is another way he can come back. That is obviously through Apocalypse, who can bring him back, which this is clearly teasing too. Several characters have been in his gang, such as Angel and Wolverine, and the way he says so much death, well, it's obviously death. And yeah, great way to end things.
Wow,
now, I also think that
cool.
due to all the stuff with the Summers, we will be leaning towards Messiah Complex and the arrival of Hope Summers. We've talked about it a fair bit, but they are laying the groundwork for it. Hope was basically the mutant Messiah, and she returned and really kickstarted a rebirth in them after House of M. Several sides were after her, including
also
Mystique,
sets off Avengers vs. X-Men,
who was masquerading as Mr. Sinister. We had his forces going after the baby, with the Purifiers also trying to grab her as well. The X-Men were trying to save her on top of that, but Bishop was secretly trying to kill her. Flash forward 80 years to the camps, and we learned that Hope was the reason the mutants had been placed in them. We didn't know exactly why it was, but Bishop believed that if he killed her in the past, then that might be the way to avoid this darker future. Speaking of time travel, Cable was attempting to save Hope as well. In the end, Mystique managed to get her hands on Hope, and we learned exactly why she wanted her. Turned out that Rogue was in a coma, and she believed that pressing Hope to her skin would lead to absorption. The energy passing from Mutant Messiah to her would hopefully then wake her up, and yeah, you kind of get the thinking behind that. In the end though, Hope actually survived the process, and she didn't seem affected by it at all. However, Rogue woke up, but she was completely furious that a baby had been put in danger for her. It could have and would have killed any other child, and thus she lambasted her adoptive mother. I think that kind of stuff would be a great direction for Season 2, and it would then lead into Avengers vs. X-Men. Cable ended up taking Hope to the future to protect her, and upon returning, the Phoenix Force and sought her out. The
Phoenix Force seeks her out, and the mutants think of her as like, this is a Masonic thing happening, this will be great for the mutants. Everybody else, including the Avengers, is like, bro, the fucking Phoenix Force is coming back. God damn it, Cyclops. But anyway, Kendall, appreciate the 10 spot, brother. Thank you so much. Says, series is a 13 of 10, but bro, the use of T'Chaka is annoying. Recast T'Challa annoys me, but Marvel is proving them right. Even Bo is insinuating that he wanted to use T'Challa, but was stopped. Much love, bro. What? Really? Can you send me that? Can you send me where he's saying that? By the way, if he wants to get rehired, he probably shouldn't be saying that shit. But yeah, send me a link to that. That's kind of interesting.
Just wanted her to take a long walk off a cliff while the X-Men were trying to protect her. So yeah, lots of directions they could go, but I am excited to see what's going to be happening next time.
Yeah.
Also, just another quick edit last thing, because I have the power to add stuff back in when I'm editing. Totally missed it before, but congratulations to our editor Matt, who pointed out that the mutant is Dr. Dreas, who we didn't pop up before. We forgot about Dr. Dreas. Hey, we forgot about Dr. Dreas. Those are my thoughts on the season. Bloody loved it, mate. I was pretty skeptical coming into it because,
they forgot about
to be honest, the Disney Plus shows that they ain't exactly been some top tier television.
No, they haven't.
HBO's scared or anything. As I think on the whole, they've probably diluted the brand a bit, and it's obvious that the studio
Who the
are
fuck is that?
the same thing. They've done a number of talks about how they're scaling back now, and have even mentioned that a number of projects have been hit and miss. So just doing a couple of I think's the right way to go, and just give us shows like this, Deadpool 3, and space them out, and you get that fan apathy turning back to love. This was an incredible season, and I really think they pulled off a difficult task. Not only did it stay true to the original series from the 90s, but it also built upon that and took things in a new direction.
Yes.
That's kind of what you want from these legacy reboots, and it grew every single character and built on the past, but evolved them beyond what they were. Every character went in a really interesting direction, especially the ones that got overlooked. Rogue going through the direction she did, Storm in that life-death arc,
Yep.
It was all really well structured.
Yes, it
built
was.
the key characters up in really interesting ways.
Hell yeah.
I think the action was also incredible too. There's some really creative things that they did with it, and overall it balanced the drama and action together beautifully. Considering these episodes are only 30 minutes each, we had a ton of things in them. There were so many shocking moments, and that 3-part finale especially, it knocked it out of the park. If you viewed that as one episode, it was absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to go back and watch it all in one go.
Yeah, for sure.
This is how you take an old property and pay tribute to the past while also making something new.
Yeah.
Bo DeMayo summed it up perfectly, and he said, "The show talks about nostalgia, what parts of us to keep versus what parts of us to carry forward. The X-Men have been rocked by so much change, but as Storm says, it's all the same because they find themselves back in their old costumes racing off against humanity and Magneto."
Yeah, that's true.
I think that kind of sums it up, that we have these battles that will always happen. X-Men versus Magneto, Joker versus Batman, Ryan Airy versus Heavy Spoilers. They're all classic battles, but it's what you do in between that matters.
Sure.
This show has done...
One other thing that, and I'm going to wrap that up, but dang, good video, Paul. One thing that I kind of noticed too, as I was watching the finale, I was like, yo, how are they going to even get out of this one? And that reminds me of this old Stan Lee quote or saying, where he was like, the Marvel formula, or like the real juice is, you want to put the characters in a situation where you kind of know they're going to get out of it because they're the heroes. The heroes win, but you can't figure out how. So they're going to win, but the odds are so stacked against them that you're like, I don't know how they're going to pull this out. That's like the beauty of the Marvel formula. They kind of pull stuff out, or it gets crazy or something happens, and then you're like, oh shit, that's how they get out of it. And I think that's something else that's kind of been missing a little bit from the Phase 4 stuff. I just, there were moments in Infinity Saga where you're like, I really don't know how they're going to get out of this. But I know they will because that's the hero. And this show nailed it. And I thought it was great because the way they get out of it is they work together, which is really cool. So, hell yeah. All right, so, chat. I think we got to get out of here, okay? But here's the thing that I wanted to say. And let me try to do a thing right now. Let me try to... I cannot gift memberships. Can I gift memberships on my other account? Let me see something real quick. Okay, so I wanted to tell you guys something kind of cool.
Owning a small business means you're head of sales, inventory, closing deals, and...
Fuck? Get that out of here. Let me see something. Okay, so tonight at 7:30, we're continuing our deep dive on the Image comics and the 90s and just crazy stuff like that, okay? The members-only stream. Now, we had a drawing for the $200 GameStop gift card, and the winner was Randon Loomer, okay? Now, he hit me up.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds, and I'm here with...
He hit me up, and he said, actually, I am in a really good spot right now, so I don't really need the gift card. What he wanted to do instead was he wanted to pay it forward, okay? So he told me to use the money I was going to spend on the gift card to get gifted memberships, okay? So what I'm going to do right now, let me see if I can. I am going to... gift 50 memberships right now, which is a little bit more. Okay, it's a little bit more. Ooh, that's a lot more. Oh, fuck, I already said it. Okay. So I'm going to gift 50 memberships instead. Now, the whole idea here is I want to try to help on our membership push. Because, again, we want to get to 2,000 members. Now, you can do that membership here on the channel. You can do that membership on Twitch. And I urge you, if you got a gifted membership right now, okay, and you want to try to help, go over to Twitch and become a member on Twitch as well. If you're feeling like that was generous and you want to try to pay it forward, go become a member on Twitch as well. Because I'm going to get the thing set up so that we can kind of drive for it. And if we get to 2,000 members, we're going to do two $200 GameStop gift cards next month. We'll add an additional day to the streaming schedule. So I thought it was really cool that Randon wanted to do that. And I was like, okay, well, he wants to pay it forward. I will add a little bit more as well and try to really get us there, okay? So if you just became a member, a couple of things you got to keep in mind. Number one, you can come kick it tonight, man, 7:30. We're going to be live for members only. We're going to be going over Image comic stuff, but we always have a good time. We always goof off and have fun. So come on by tonight at 7:30. Also, you get 20% off the merch. Apparently, it excludes the heavy tees. I don't know why, but you could go check out the merch store. Hit somebody up on Discord to get the code. You can get 20% off the merch. So if you wanted some merch, but you haven't gotten any yet, you just became a member, you get 20% off of the merch. So yeah, that's just kind of like a fun thing that I wanted to do to kind of try to pay it forward and to try to help us push towards 2,000 members, okay? So shout out to Randon. I thought that was cool. Also, Rossi, thank you for gifting another 5. That's fucking awesome. And we are sort of slowly edging towards... No, did he? We are slowly edging towards that 2,000 members. And I really appreciate all the support. I thought that was a really cool thing for Randon to do. So, bada boom, bada bing. Welcome to the membership. Appreciate you guys. Okay. And I meant to do that earlier when more people were here, but that's all good, man. It's all good, baby. It's all good. All right, so I'm going to get out of here, but I'll chill for like 5-10 more minutes, but then I got to get out of here. I got to go work on some stuff, and we will be live later tonight at 7:30, and we'll be live on Friday as well, man. We'll be live on Friday, and I think we're going to do a Diamond Lounge on Friday as well. So, again, I really appreciate it. If you want to try to give back or help us drive for 2,000. If you have Amazon Prime, you can go over to the Twitch. You can become a member basically for free. So yeah, really appreciate it. And thank you guys. Delta Dan, thanks for gifting a membership, man. Really appreciate it. Where's my free stuff? It's in the mail. Check the mail. Gift me a PS5. It's on the way. It's on the way. Should be there soon. Should be there soon. Hell yeah. Yeah, I thought that was cool, man. He was like, yeah, just put it in as gifted members. I was like, okay, cool. I could do that. Afton says, the Fantastic Four animated series can't be canon. T'Chaka dies in it. The only way to be considered canon is in many times the timeline has been altered. Okay, interesting. But he was Black Panther in it. He just dies. Is that what you're saying? Hey, Josh, I just watched the Kirby streams. I think that they did the movies is the same thing Stan and Jack did with the Marvel formula. Yeah, it is similar. No, I've brought that up before, but it's a good point. Aaliyah, whoa, holy shit. Aaliyah gifting 50 memberships? Holy shit. Aaliyah. Wow, that's a lot of money. Holy shit. Thank you. Oh my goodness. You didn't have to do all that. Also, did you accidentally put an extra 0 on there? You could always charge it back if you need to. It's not a big deal. Damn. Thank you so much. Andreas, man, gifting a membership. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Holy shit. Holy shit. Dang, we got to be creeping now. We got to be creeping. No, it was not an accident. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. I didn't want you to be like, oh, shit. Please update and let's get the new members up to date on Unity #1, please. I'm not sure what you mean by that, brother. You mean you want me to send them out a link? I mean, I can definitely do that. I think a lot of people have already read Chapter 1, right? Where's the ticker? I'll try to get the ticker up by Friday so we can kind of know where we're at. You know? Joey Ebbs, thanks for gifting a membership, man. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome, man. The support's crazy. Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll get it on track for Friday so we can kind of keep track of it. For sure. Nicolas Cage Spider-Man thoughts? Bro, I love it. I love it. I think that's a great direction to go in. Nicolas Cage is a huge comic book fan, big sweaty nerd. He likes that character a lot. Obviously voiced the character in Across the Spider-Verse. I think he's coming back for some more additional stuff in the next one. So yeah, dude, I think it's awesome. I'm excited. I want to follow the development on it. I hope they go a little bit more mature. You know, they don't have to go like hard R, but a little bit more mature I think would be good for that character and property. Shells, welcome back to the Nerd Vengers, baby. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, dude, we got a bunch of new members. So I hope I see a bunch of you tonight at 7:30. Like I said, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll do a post on the membership tab on this channel to get you guys the discount code for the merch. So again, it's 20% off. Apparently, it doesn't apply to the heavy tees, which sucks because the heavy tees are awesome. Also, I got to order my shit. I had thought we already ordered a bunch of stuff. We hadn't. It's okay. But I'm going to order a bunch of stuff because I want to be rocking the new X-Men inspired merch. Seconds from Disaster says, do you think the X-Men got sent back in time, recognized him as Apocalypse? I know he don't look the same, but the facial markings give it away. Yeah, well... yeah, that's a good question. I wonder if they recognize him. I'm not really sure. That's a really good question, man. That's a really good question. I'm not really sure. Because who was back there? It was Magneto, Rogue, and Nightcrawler. No psychics, huh? Wait, was Charles with them too? But then again, if he's reading the mind and the memories are not there, I don't know. It's hard to say. Are you going to knight us now, all or what, buddy? Oh, my God. That's a good question. All right, let me see here. Let me try to speed run this. Oh, my God. Okay, I can only scroll up so much. Terrell, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. Spiritual LX, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. V Cheetah, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. Mystery Arcade, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You're a Nerd Venger now. Let's go down to these ones here. CDQ Glass, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You're a Nerd Venger now. Vassal, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You're a Nerd Venger now. Jaden, welcome to the Nerd Venger. Tony, welcome to Nicole. Welcome to King Reaper. Welcome Mandalore. Mandalore's a Nerd Venger now. Holy shit. Gabri Wade, Walid, Automan, Vault Tech Spy, Caden Howard, Jake Zanag, Stephen Luna, Logan B, friggin' Toasty, Carmel, Kyle Sips, Venom, Logan Mc something or other, Matthew Cole, Alex Carrero, Jedi Knights of Snyder called, Brandon Morris, Karen Eisenhart, Jimmy Neutron, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You're a Nerd Venger now. James Burke, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You're a Nerd Venger now. Nighthawk, I love that name. You guys got to call me Nighthawk now. Welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You're a Nerd Venger now. Philip Bo, Al Rio, Brian Davis, C. Wilson 54, Juan Ortiz, Jamal B, HT, Trev, Trill Trey, Danny Boy, fucking Sushi Juice, Hammer Grits, Julius B, Stoneman, Heavy, Unibra, Andrew Austin, Thinking Gaming, Truth Kennedy Gaming, Royal, Lucas Blancard, deep Mando's culture. Damn, that's a lot of people. That's all I got. How about this? To everybody that has become a Nerd Venture today. Welcome to the Nerd Ventures. You are a Nerd Venture now. Feel the power flowing through you. Hell yeah. You missed one? No, I double checked. I got them all. Okay. Josh, I've been a member for over a year and never got knighted. Mikkel, welcome to the Nerd Ventures. You are a Nerd Venture now. Wild Space Wanderer, welcome to the Nerd Ventures. You are a Nerd Venture now. Next time, people. Yeah, dude, Gringo, you got it next time, bro. You got it next time. Hell yeah. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Okay, I got to get out of here. Wild Space Wanderer, Josh hates me. No, I don't. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. I'm honored. Thank you very much. Hell yeah. Charles was reading. Oh, I like that, John. That's interesting, man. I'm still a broke venture, says Smoking Mad Pot. Maybe we'll get you on Friday, bud. Andrea says, Josh, knight me for a third time, please. Hell nah. Chat, Josh is in 6 weeks, by the way. Oh, thanks. T'Challa was the Black Panther, and the flashbacks killed T'Chaka. Oh, interesting. Indie Crypto, welcome to the Nerd Ventures. You are a Nerd Venture now. Hell yeah. When do I become a lord or a duke or something? I'm not really sure. Hey, Matt Campbell, thanks for gifting a membership, man. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You guys are freaking awesome. I appreciate it. Hell yeah. Okay, guys. Hey, thanks for the stream. W stream today. We had a nice breakdown. We had a nice call with Rob. We got to nerd out, man. X-Men 97. And we didn't really shit on anything. We didn't really go hard on Star Wars, even though we could have. So it feels like a good day. Hell yeah. All right, guys. Much love. I'll see you guys tonight at 7:30, okay? Talking some Image Comics. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? And thanks, Rossi, for that rose sticker thing, whatever it is. Hey, pretty good stream. Hey, that was a pretty good stream. And one day he'll say the name right. That is how you say it. It's Rossi. And if it's not, I don't know what the fuck to do, because everybody was telling me, like, that's what it is. And, like, I even asked Elisa, you know, I went to the local library. I asked ChatGPT. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. All right, everybody. Hey, that was a good one. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see some of you tonight. Videos dropping. And I'll see you again Friday, okay? Make sure you open up your third eye. And wash out your stinky butt. Oh.